Hey everybody, welcome to bonus content. I am Alex O'Neill. I'm joined by my co-hosts as usual. There's like dust in my fucking microphone right now. Trying to get it out. It's like a hair there. Nabashin.
This is generally something that you do before you go live.
You're right, and I didn't see it until after I hit the button. Nabashin, Scott, and Tony are here. Nabashin, how's the movie, buddy?
Uh, it was great.
It was great, kids. Yeah.
In
This is
America.
How's your audio?
How's your audio? How are you doing? How's your throat?
Like I went immediately right after work, which I didn't have a jacket for, and it's all cold and rainy outside right now. Inhaling, apparently, at the same time. So
Great.
that was not a smart idea on myself. I put upon myself to go straight there, in a somewhat cold movie theater, which it wasn't that cold. Like it warmed me up more than it was outside, but like, there's something you still need a jacket for, which I did not have.
Mm-hmm.
But I finally got to see the Disaster Artist, which I really wanted to see, and like it was everything I wanted and more. So I love that movie.
Yeah,
So
I hear James Franco killed it.
it's real good. Because like like a few days before that, I just like convinced my best friend Tony, because he's the one I can just tell anything to. Oh, we're doing this. He'd be like, oh, okay. That's because that's how our friendship works. It's just like, hey, I need this weird thing, and I need you to be a part of it. And he's like, okay. And like, so we watched The Room together, which I actually haven't actually seen in full. Like I've seen reviews on it, and I've seen clips of it, but I've never actually seen the entire movie like in one sitting. I was like, yeah, we just need to do this. Because he
How
knew
bad is
nothing.
it?
Oh, yeah, he knew nothing about The Room.
The best way to go into that movie, I'm sure.
Yes. Oh yes, yeah. And it was like I think it was like it was exactly like 2 minutes and 10 seconds in, and he had to pause it. And he's like, "What the fuck are we watching?" And then like he looked at how much time it was like. You got an hour and 40 minutes. Like, what did I commit to? And so like that was like a whole thing, and like and the funny thing about it too, because like it's an hour and 40-minute movie, but it took us 3 hours to watch because he kept pausing it because he had to like process
Take a break,
everything.
man. You
He had
gotta
to
take a
process
breather.
everything he was seeing, and like we had to comment on it, and like that was
awesome.
like the ideal way of seeing that movie. So that was pretty great.
Basically, for every moment where you couldn't even, you had to stop.
and
And then-
find your even again.
Yeah, so that movie was really good for that. And then like immediately after that movie was over, I'm like, okay, I need to go to YouTube and look at the trailer for The Disaster Artist, and like just to see my friend Tony just the face just light up. It's like, oh my god! It's like he just like gets it, what that movie's about and everything. So like that, so it was like yes, and it's like, oh, we're gonna see this together, and I just went to see it by myself. Mostly because like he's busy, he has a daughter and everything, so he could just like make a date like for that. But I wanted to see like right away because I was gonna see it yesterday, but the Game Awards was happening, so I was like, oh, I'll sacrifice that just to see it today. Cause that'd be the closest I could see it like right after work, and I did that. And man, did that movie nail it in so many ways. As far as like the tone and like how weird that movie is just in general. And he even explains some stuff in the movie of like why certain things are a certain way, which makes a lot more sense and it's even funnier in context. But it's definitely something you should see The Room for before you see that movie, because it's like you see this weird movie and this is like, how the fuck did this get made? Did you see how it got made? And it's just like, oh, like this still you still don't even understand how it got made, because like this Tommy Wiseau, that character, that's in general, just like he's literally just like an alien from another world. It's like this, he just comes out of nowhere. You don't know where he's from. You don't know how much money he has. You don't know, you don't even know like who he is. Like in the entire movie, really, he's just this weird, eccentric guy who wants to be an actor. And like he went through a lot of means to do that, and he has a really close relationship with his friend Greg, the lead actor, or the second actor in that in The Room, who was his best friend, just some young kid that he
Yeah, Mark.
yeah, Mark.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Mark.
Um
Oh, hi, Mark.
oh hi Mark. like it's interesting how that relationship is because it's like they were just like classmates together. And then like Tommy was like, "Oh, let's just move to Los Angeles." And he's like, "We just can't move to Los Angeles." "Oh, I got an apartment there." "You have an apartment there?" Like, it's just like, "Yeah, let's become movie stars, Mark," and or Tom or Greg or whatever. And like, yeah, and they just did that, and it's a weird, it's really good, and just James Franco in general, man, it's like this. God, just like to see that movie alone, to see how
Like you see his eye in that movie, and like how they like it's just kind of like half closed the whole time. It's like this is like alarmingly close
because that's how Tommy Wiseau is. And
yeah,
and at the end of the movie, they even do like scene for scene, like scenes from the room and scenes from them reacting parts of the room, and just seeing like how close they actually got it. I was like, damn, they put like a lot of love and care into it. It's very interesting to see a good actor act bad.
Yeah.
And like nail it, and having that bad acting be good acting, so it was like that's like a real interesting thing about it too. But yeah, highly recommend that movie. But I would say definitely see The Room before you see that movie.
I'm like slightly alarmed just at how much offhand knowledge Scott has of The Room in general. Like,
yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah, I figured you probably have not seen
everybody else around me has.
Yeah, it's the same for me. I've never seen it as well, but I know so many people that have. And I like I've seen clips of it, and it's just like, oh, whoa, man, fuck. I don't know if I could sit through that, honestly.
Oh, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. But I will say this, like, when I went to that theater, like, it was at 420.
Nice.
And so like there was like only like 5 people in that movie theater. So like yeah, that was like the best beauty series to see it. But like it's kind of like not the same at the same time, because like I'm used to like having people laugh with me, and it's just like now
so you're just like cracking up loudly alone in the movie theater.
Oh, I'm laughing, but like I kind of just don't want to laugh too hard because like I feel like I'm being rude at a certain point, because like
dude, that was like us seeing Thor and fucking Cameron losing his goddamn mind in the movie theater, and like it wasn't like an empty theater, it wasn't crowded though, it was just like so good. I think back to when you, Ethan, and I what did we see? We saw Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. And we were just losing it, and like we were the only people that movie. Yeah.
But like, but my point for that was just like the room, like that, the room, and like even the disaster art. It feels like that's something that you need to see with a group of people, not just by yourself. I would definitely say that. Like I even like I text Mark BK like, hey, do you just want to do this thing? Just watch The Room with me? And they're like, I don't know what it is, but sure. So it's like, okay, I get to do this again, so that'll be fun. And I'll see if I can convince them to go to the theater, and I'll rewatch that movie again for like a 3rd time.
Nice. I'm curious to see how that evolves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't think Dave and James Franco have actually been in a movie together before either. Mm-hmm. They probably have, but I can't think of one. But yeah, that movie does look good. I just like, I wonder if like how entertaining a film The Disaster Artist is.
It's very entertaining because like you see him Tommy in that movie, and it's like you see that he's actually trying, but like you can also see him being like this egotistical guy and kind of a scumbag at the same time. So it's like, so there's moments in the movie it's like, oh, Tommy, like, oh, they see that you're trying, but like they're laughing at you at the same time, so that's sad. But it's also like, oh, Tommy, you fucking scumbag, like you shouldn't treat people this way, type of thing. So it's like,
yeah,
it's like you're laughing at him, you're laughing with him. It's a weird thing. Even and post credits is pretty great too.
It's funny because it's kind of like what the plot of The Room is too.
Yeah, it's exactly that.
So yeah,
there's a scene in that movie where it's like they go through like the your Reddit forums type of thing. Not literally going to Reddit, but like it's something like you would see in a Reddit forum. It's like the deep meaning behind The Room and like what it actually means and stuff like that. So it's like that's funny.
And it's like it's all just wrong, and it's just like, whoa, that's great. That's it. Like that's the kind of shit I'm always fascinated by. Is like how did the Mass Effect 3 developers feel when they saw like the indoctrination theory, right? Like I'm sure they were like super into it because it's a cool idea, and it's like, oh wow, like they got this whole different thing out of this. But also it's kind of a bummer. Right? Like it's gotta be like, man, maybe we should have done this. Or like some people think that and some people are like, I don't like this idea nearly as much as ours or whatever. So cool. You get anything else? Get up to anything else this week?
It's been mostly just work. I don't think there's been anything else. Like, I've actually been playing more video games than I have in the last few days than I have in a long time. Like consistently, I should say.
Yeah, man, me too.
Yeah, it's been kind of nice actually. Just like actually spending an entire day just playing video games instead of like just skimming through YouTube for like 5 hours, like I do sometimes.
I know that feel too. I get you.
And another thing I did this week, which hasn't been into effect yet, but by probably next week I can report on it. I signed up for a movie pass because like actually,
okay.
I've actually noticed that like I've actually been enjoying movies again. This has like been a good year for movies for me than has been in like years. Like because I could usually go like an entire year without seeing a movie and don't feel like I missed anything. You know, other than your obligatory superhero movies or whatever. But like I signed it up for today. I was hoping I would get today, but no, I have to wait for the car to come in to do that. So like when that comes in, I'll go see Coco. I can finally go see Blade Runner. I can see all these movies I like somewhat want to see, but I don't really want to see, type of thing. But now it's like, oh, I don't
you
have
don't
an
want to spend
excuse
$12.50 on a pop, right?
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I get to spend $10 a month and see how that is for me as far as like actually going out and seeing these other movies.
Yeah, let me know because I've been thinking about that too.
Yeah, or even just re-seeing movies again with another group of friends who like oh, I really want to see Justice League again or something like that, just because I want to or whatever reason, you know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's been mostly cost prohibitive of the reason I haven't seen as many. Like, I really want to see Blade Runner, but it's just like, oh, when do I get the time? Oh, it's going to be, like, maybe I can go on a Sunday before noon, so it's, like, $5. But then it's like, oh, I want to sleep in. Like, this is my only day off. Like, but yeah, so I feel you. I'm glad, I went and saw Justice League. That was, like, the only one I've gone and seen recently, but on a total whim. But cool. Scott, you get up to anything this week?
Nope.
Hell yeah, my man.
What a week.
What about you, Tony?
I've been swept up in this long, complicated, for weird reasons, interview process for a job that I'm considering. I've been to like 7 interviews this week for it.
Fuck yeah.
So
have you like gone physically or have some been over the phone?
The last one was over the phone, but everything else I had to go somewhere.
Jeez.
Yeah. So then I've got another follow-up one on Monday. I think that's the last one.
Fucking not. God, I hope so.
Yeah.
For your sake.
So that's been an adventure.
Good luck.
Yeah, it's for a very non-entry level position.
Okay.
So it's like a long vetting process, So it should be interesting. If I end up getting the job, we can talk a little bit about it. But we'll see. It's a good opportunity, so hopefully it pans out.
Yeah, man, I'm pulling for you.
That's been most of my week. Otherwise, just kind of hanging out, doing my thing. Pretty much it. Pretty slow.
Cool.
What a funny story, Mark.
I just this dark future where Nabishin slowly becomes Tommy Wiseau.
It's been funny. I've been laughing in the car just like constantly, and every time I laugh, I go. That's how Tommy Wiseau laughs. So it's funny.
This is you're giving me just like terrible visions of a dark future. We do live in the darkest timeline, so I finished writing this week, which was weird.
Yeah.
Finished writing.
I finished writing.
Scott, keep up to date. Come on, dude.
So Scott, for your reference, as of Tuesday, I hit 1,000 consecutive days of writing about video games every day.
Every day.
And then I was like, my plan was to stop, and I did, and it was very weird. Like Wednesday was a very weird day because
what do I do with myself?
Well, there were like 7 different moments where I was like, oh, I gotta. No, I don't. And it was way harder not to do it than I thought it would be. which is cool. Like I think that's the whole point of the exercise is like that it becomes habitual. And it's like every day I think about it. I think about doing it. It's like it's weirdly like addictive. But like I've been forcing myself to kind of take the space off. So
But like, who doesn't think about doing it every day?
just
You know?
doing it, just fucking
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah. You know?
Finally, no, but yeah,
Me, I don't like writing that much.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's. I mean, it's been nice. I think like I can definitely feel a little bit of stress, kind of off my shoulders. You know,
Sure.
I haven't written in 2 days consecutively, which I haven't done since January of 2015, which is a weird thing to think about. And yeah, it was just strange because I had to force myself way harder than I thought I would, like to not do it. And going into this, like I wrote that piece, which we'll talk about once we go live. I don't know. Like, I know you read it, Tony. I don't know if you checked it out, Nabishin.
I read the whole thing from my boy.
I appreciate that.
It
I'm
was
really
fucking
proud of
long
it.
too.
Yeah, it was. A lot of it was like excerpts of.
Honestly, I think I'm more proud of me for reading it than you for writing it.
It's like that Max Landis.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of it was like excerpts from other things that I kind of wanted to put out. But yeah, I mean, like I'm really proud of that, of kind of like archiving or just closing out that experience and talking about why it was good and why it was bad. And that there can be good and bad with that.
Yeah.
Because I don't talk about the bad a lot. But yeah, it's just been weird and it's been nice. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I feel less stressed, which is good. That was like more of an immediate feeling that I very much needed. And I also I like that hunger for creativity, like that want to make things and do things, hasn't gone away. Like that, like the ideas are still flowing. There's still things I want to work on. Versus before I started doing the writing exercise every day, where it was just like I was so lazy about it. I was so like nonchalant about it. But like, that feeling is just it's become literally a part of me now, which is cool. Which tells me that I don't need to write every day anymore to want to write every day, which is cool. It's a good spot to be in, I think. So I think it, as an overall exercise, it paid off. Like the reward is just like this kind of freedom of creativity that I feel like I didn't really have before. So, but I'm forcing myself to take a little bit of time off, because I think I need it. So, for my mental health and whatnot. Yeah. So that was great because I just woke up early on Wednesday morning, which is my day off, and I just fucking played a whole bunch of video games.
Hell yeah.
It was rad. And I did the stream on Sunday, and
It was a good stream.
I thought so. It was longer than I thought it would be.
Yeah. It was longer than most people thought it was going to be.
Yeah, but like I also did anticipate that it would take me longer.
I don't think that it necessarily took you longer. Like the stream is about the same period of time that it took me to complete the game. But like I remember like when you got you were kind of getting close to the beginning of the first section of that game. You're like, so how far am I? And like people were like, you're pretty close to the end. I was like, kind of, you're not.
Yeah.
And it was mostly because some of the people who were saying that in chat just hadn't had the full experience yet. So it was kind of cool to hear feedback from them as well after the stream of like, hey, I played along with Alex and the X is what I thought.
Yeah, that was cool to see folks kind of following along with it. A lot of people hung out through the whole thing too.
Yeah, it was cool. We had a good time.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that a little bit in games. But how did you think I was gonna get hung up on like the part where you have to figure a thing out?
Not really, but like I don't know. You figured that out quicker than I did, but mostly because I wasn't looking to figure it out at that point. But
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I didn't really think there was anything to figure out.
Yeah, we can talk about it during the show.
Yeah.
Did Nabishin play it yet?
No, I don't think he's going to, but we can air out the grievances. Yeah. Whew, man. It was. I had a good week. You guys wanna? We got the Game Awards to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
For folks watching, we have I did tweet it out, but we're hard out. We're gonna stop by 10:30, 10:45 ish. So we'll ramp down if we're still going by 10:30. We'll just cut to our closing act. So, and we'll figure that out when we get there. But you guys, I'm gonna run up and use the bathroom real quick.
Okay.
And get a glass of water and turn.
I'll allow it.
Oh, thank you.
I won't. Fuck you.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right, see you. I mean, I like dogs. Which one is it?
Oh, there are like 5 dogs here right now. Because they're my 2 dogs, and then my sister's dog is here, and my brother's 2 dogs are also here.
You know what? While Alex is gonna go get a drink, I'm gonna go get a drink.
Nabished,
Yes.
do I finish near?
I don't know. It's up to you.
It didn't grab me in like the first hour, so I moved on to Danganronpa.
It takes longer than the first hour.
Yeah, I figured it would.
Where do you
Bring that
stop
back.
at?
I was like doing some missions in the mercenary camp or the rebel camp.
You see the whole when like a whole bunch of robots were together?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, that's usually like the scene where it's like, oh, like I'm interested or like I'm bailing out. So
Yeah,
you're not too far from that though.
I think I'll end up liking it. It's just like I've got these 2 pretty like long games to get through, and not a whole lot of time. So
Yeah, I get it, Tony. That there's a lot of chuff in the beginning
yeah,
part
like
of the game.
I mean, like I don't have to worry about stuff like Super Mario Odyssey because like those are bad games. So
God damn it!
You took out the time for Doki Doki Literature Club, so
this is 5 hours. I mean, if I could complete Super Mario in 5 hours, I'd probably
Again.
play it.
You probably could, yeah.
You kind of can.
All right, well then
You could hit credits in that time, yeah.
I'll have to hang out with Scott for
Very
5 hours
good.
one day and then finish it.
I think the game is good. Yeah.
yeah, before the end of the year, definitely.
I will say one other bonus content-y thing. My brother got an espresso maker
Shit.
recently. Fucking
So it's just lit in that house right now.
fucking game changer, my guys. Oh my. So like, you know, I have like a ritual where I go, there's a Panera right near where I work, so I'll go there. I like the Panera app. I order ahead of time when I'm driving just before I leave for work. I'll order an espresso, and I'll go there. I'll fill the shot of espresso up with another cup of coffee, and I'll drink it over my morning shifts or afternoon shifts, or really all the shifts, because that's the kind of human I am. But now it's resulted in me, instead of leaving 15 minutes earlier for work, sitting in my kitchen with this little cup of double shot of espresso, just like slowly sipping it, like very bleary-eyed in the morning. Game changer.
Hey, it probably makes the drive a lot better.
It does. I'm more awake on my way to work, which is nice. Like, and also, like, I don't have to work through the coffee and espresso. It's just double shot right up front. It's like, okay, I'm ready for the morning.
I'm into it.
Yeah. All right. You guys ready to start recording?
I could be convinced.
Jesus, H.
Hey, Scott. When does the alchemy event end?
I have no idea.
Did I miss anything, Namishin?
What is the alchemy event?
The one with the step seals and mystic trails, whatever they're called.
In the news.
Meadow trails, step seals.
Mostly everything. Let's wait for the Game Awards.
Oh, 13th.
Yeah, I feel like I got everything.
Did you make your fine box yet?
Devil May Cry.
I thought about that,
No.
but I figure I'd rather wait for tonight. Although I also put in the God of War release date thing, and I said at the end we'll probably know tonight.
You know what I got from all of my winter boxes so far?
Okay, tell me.
Cronstones.
Lit. Sounds like my life.
I mean, hey, if every box I opened gave me a Cronstone, I'd consider it worth it because eventually I might be able to use them.
Well, I actually used mine recently. And the funny part is when I used it, my shit went tet. So anyway, how you feeling, Alex?
What? I'm feeling great. I'm feeling lit.
Are you feeling ready to start this show?
Hold
I've
on,
been
Alex.
ready.
Do you want to just some bonus content real quick right before the show starts? Do you want to be party to me opening a chocolate cookie right now?
Yeah, I do.
Right.
Do you have a camera?
It's a little different than that.
I want to see. Oh my god, this is gonna be some dirty, filthy cookie.
Did you eat your cookies, Scott?
You said yes, and you shouldn't have.
I shouldn't have. Christ, he's sharing this.
Hey, Alex.
Jesus, this is filthy.
Ready to open this chocolate cookie that I got in my inventory?
Why are you doing this to me?
Let me know when to hit the space bar,
Open
Alex.
only one. Oh my god, what is this, like a random drawing?
Yeah, dude. I have 22 seconds left to hit the space bar and it'll stop it.
Just hit the fucking bar.
Well, my character didn't freak out, so you fucked up. All right, I got garbage.
Yeah, Mifa. I don't know what that means. Oh no, that's the name of your
That's my bird.
Oh, that's your bird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got this thing.
tough whale tendron elixir.
Yep. It's good, but there are way better things that you can get.
I'm fucking sorry over here.
It's all right. There you go. You played some Black Desert today, Alex.
All right, you ready to start recording now, please?
Yeah, I'm ready. I've been ready, bro.
All right, Scott, Nabshan, I assume both of you are ready.
Yep.
5, 4, 2.
Oh my!
Are you
Alex.
serious? Are you serious?
Oh, this is great.
Do it
I don't
again
even
now.
have to mess up the recording. Time. Keep going.
What happened?
Nothing.
What
Just
did I
do it
miss?
again.
What did I miss while I was gone? I went to the bathroom for 2 minutes.
Okay. So I'm surprised that you were able to squeeze 2 minutes out of like 5 seconds,
Yeah.
but we couldn't hear
It was like 5,
3, 2, or 1.
4, and then nothing, and then 3, 2.
Okay. You know, I'll plug in my fucking.
It's just amazing that every week it happens the first time while you're doing the
It
countdown.
only happens. I'm fucking doing the countdown. I'm gonna get this Ethernet cable. I hope it works.
Maybe I should just open more cookies. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna open some cookies.
Do
I want
it,
them
dude.
bronze fans.
Open the fuck out of those cookies.
Also,
The 5
no,
most
I guess
important
I'll save it for actual show.
Okay.
Hold on to that dream, Scott. All right, you ready now?
Gross.
God, Alex, I hope you're ready for some fucking Black Desert talk this week, because there's gonna be some.
Oh, I got surprises for you guys too. Don't worry. All right, on one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right.
We are in this.
We are
like
in
in
it.
this.
The one again.
I swear to God, Scott, I'll come over there.
But I mean, like, you won't, because I did hit the one, and I hit the button, but you're still not coming over here.
That's true. I'm too late.
Yeah, Alex doesn't like hanging out with people.
I don't like leaving my house ever. Man, fucking Nobishin. It's the Nobishin 2017 Year of Dreams.
Nobishin gets what he wants.
Yeah, man. Literally on his birthday. Nobishin gets whatever. It's fine. It's whatever. I got a lot this year too. I'm not like throwing shade or anything. It's just it is crazy. All right. It is Friday, December 8th, 2017, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions podcast. I'm your host on this lovely podcast journey we are about to go on, Alex O'Neill, and I am joined by my wonderful co-host, as always, Scott Guthier.
I still couldn't hear the countdown.
Tony Horvath.
5, 4.
Jesus Christ. Brian Nobishin Jackson is in the house.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
And it's been a show already. It's been a minute, as people can tell. There's a dog barking somewhere.
There are 5 dogs in my house right now. I'm sorry.
There are 5 dogs in Tony's house. Stranger dogs.
3 of them are not even my dogs.
Just to get this out of the way, I did say that I was gonna do an Independence Day tribute thing to my all right, back up a second.
Here we go.
I finally got the Platinum Persona 5. I said just for shits and giggles I was going to do like an Independence Day speech about like me beating Kaylee Woomer, because that's what I was going to do, but obviously I lost. But I said on Twitter like, oh, I'll do it anyway just for shits and giggles. I didn't do it. I didn't have time, work, the room, and the disaster hours came out, so I just didn't have time. But I will do that next week, so prepare for that.
You know
I
what?
gotta do
That's
my
fine.
Research. It takes
allow it.
It's effort, man. It's not just something I can just do willy nilly. I have to customize it. I have to put Kaylee's name in other than aliens or whatever the fuck in that speech. I can't remember what it is, but
What was that, back in September? People want to go back and dig into that, find the context.
yeah.
Welcome to Irrational Passions podcast. Got a lot to talk about this week, episode 357. We got to start thinking about 420, guys. I'm not
pretty far away from there.
We're like just over a year at this point. I'm just saying I'm planning.
Does that mean like Christmas next year is 420?
I feel like it's gonna be Christmas next year. Is 420. And I'm very excited. No, that would be too long. It would probably be like February. It'll probably be like
falls on the Game of the Year episode.
Oh my god, that would be incredible. Man, you want to know something that's gonna make these conversations way longer? Weed. No, it'll probably like fall in
Just
February.
referencing it.
BE3.
No, I think it'll be February. Maybe late February. It'll be somewhere around Nobishin and Tony's birthday.
Oh yeah.
So you know what we doing. 2019. Get ready.
Team Wee Weed.
Team Weed. Team Weed 3 coming back. We got a good show lined up for you all, wonderful listeners tonight.
Hell yeah.
Game Awards happened last night, and the PlayStation Experience, what are they calling it? Showcase? Presentation, okay. Is happening tonight. So we're actually going to make sure we end the show before then, and I think Tony and I are going to watch it. I don't know if Scott was on board for that. Although, Scott, you did say something about ad hoc watching that, which I really like.
Extra part of the show. We end the show, but we keep streaming. And we just roll right into.
I might make a separate video for it, but it'll still be on YouTube.
All right.
because that way
Use your
it'll be
PSP.
easy to break them out, and we're gonna play PSP the whole time.
That's our party, man.
Fuck yeah. So we'll watch that. I don't know if you want to hang out for that, Nabashin, but
No,
you like to watch things alone because
I
we're
do.
we're too distracting.
It's true.
So we're too much fun, you know.
Yeah.
The things. But I want to start the show with a little bit of housekeeping. If you'd like to find out more cool stuff that we do, irrationalpassions.com, place to be. A few things went up on the site this last week. Persona 5 Spoilercast is up in audio form for your listening pleasure. That is a great show. I think we had a great conversation. It's 2 hours, a little bit tighter than our Persona 4 one, which is about like almost 3, I think. Tony was on that as well. He was not on the Persona 4 one, so we brought him into the fold. Relevant, I think, reflecting on Persona.
Yeah.
Great game. I wrote a feature about writing about video games for 1,000 days, which I did. It's a thing that I did.
That boy.
That boy. And it was cool. There's a lot of feelings in that. I talked about it a little bit in the bonus content, kind of what it's been like since then. So you can go check that out on youtube.com/irrationalpassions for our pre-show bonus content warm-up for this episode. And Logan Wilkinson wrote a very interesting feature on Night in the Woods called Possum Springs, USA, kind of talking about his experience going through that town and feeling out that town. I don't know if you checked that out, Nabashin, but I would recommend it.
I read parts of it. Yeah, this is something I'll actually talk to Logan about probably.
Yeah, he had a very different perspective on that game. It's very interesting hearing the back and forth between him and George, who had a much more positive experience, I think, with it.
I'm more on George's side than
and I think you as well. Yeah, so, but yeah, he definitely talked with us about it. So, and a new episode of Input is out talking about Bitcoin and JonTron. So, strap into that one.
There's like content in that episode.
Yeah, there's some hashtag content going on in that episode. But let's get into our show. No more input. I'm very excited. We're mixing it up. I know you're all ready for this. Game Awards happened last night. We got some shit to talk about. So let's talk about some news. News in gaming. I want listeners at home to know that I didn't prepare Nabashin, Scott, or Tony for any of this to happen. But we're mixing it up. I want to talk about the Game Awards. This way we can kind of like let this conversation breathe. No time limit on this. A lot of stuff announced last night. The Game Awards happened last night. I'm going to kind of go around. Scott, you didn't watch it. It's not your cup of tea. So I'm not going to sit here and degrade you for it. But Tony watched it. Nabashin watched it. I watched it. What did you guys think? Nabashin, what did you think?
I thought it was great.
I thought it was great too.
Yeah, I thought they put on a good show.
Yeah, I think
For what they were trying to do and the tone they were trying to make hit, I think they actually nailed it.
I mean, they had one stellar interview.
Can we we did get I solicited some questions, and we did get one question from Peter Spezia, friend of the show, at Pete Speak Easy on Twitter. He said, your thoughts on Joseph Ferris's big stunt at the hashtag Game Awards? Refreshingly transparent, or Joseph, it might be Joseph Ferris. Refreshingly transparent voice of fresh air that is needed in the game industry, or embarrassingly controversial moment on a night when games are trying to be taken seriously.
First of all, the games aren't well, they're trying to. That's a weird thing to say. You can say that it's being taken seriously, and it is, but like this is not the DICE Awards or something like that. There's still like levity. It's portraying more to the audience than I would say to the developers themselves. It's definitely showed off that way. It's trying to meet like a good middle, and I know Jeff is trying to like make it like more of a, not necessarily a serious thing, but like a more something respectable thing. That's the right word for it. But like
And I think he did. Like in
Yeah.
in all fairness, I think like you said, Namshin, I feel of all the years where they're kind of trying to split the difference and balance those tones, they nailed it this year. I agree. Like I know Scott, you don't like watching it, but I can say it was genuinely a very good show. It was well paced. There were good moments. There's nothing that felt out of place or corny or forced. There was no one there that shouldn't have been there. Is a big thing too. Like no presenter. The only weird presenter was Zachary Levi, but he also like he is like really into video games, and like that's a big part of his thing. And he had a fucking choice microtransaction joke. So yeah, like just to throw that out there. What were you gonna say, Namshin?
No, I think I mostly got everything out. What I wanted to say.
Yeah, I like. What do you think, Tony,
Of the Game Awards in general?
of Yosef Ferris's?
Oh, sorry. You have this question.
Yeah.
The first one of the two, I thought it was funny, and maybe that's not exactly what he was going for, but I thought that it was a great change of pace, and it was really funny to watch Jeff Keighley kind of be like, basically ignored.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I thought the whole segment was gold, but maybe not for the right reasons.
Yeah. I like.
There is an opinion out there that's like, like this is a celebration of our industry, and like we should show some respect towards it. And then this guy comes up here and just like kind of like degrades it. And you could see it that way, but like at the same time,
I don't think that was his intent.
Yeah,
the big
like
thing.
at the same time, this is a guy who makes video games, so it's like, like this is also a side of our industry, and like not everything is like black and white and everything is good. Like sometimes you have to say what you got to say. He's a passionate man. He's a very passionate man. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah, that dude is definitely like known for being very, very passionate. Irrationally so, one might say. He wins the Irrational Passions the Game Awards award for being the most irrationally passionate. Yeah, like I don't know. I go back and forth. Like I definitely like I'm not into that kind of thing. I'd like to believe though that he was very genuine in being transparent. Of like, I think fuck the Oscars and holding a middle finger up to the screen is a little excessive.
Yeah, I don't like Jeff being put in that position because
right. That's not fair to him.
Yeah, and I generally in general just like cringe-worthy moments, and that's not necessarily a cringe moment because it's funny, but it's cringy for Jeff who's trying to be serious about this, and then this is like some guy. Not necessarily an asshole, but some guy who just like comes up and just like, if I was trying to make this like PG-13, he made it R.
Yeah, exactly. And like there were definitely trailers and stuff that were in that realm as well, but like it was more of a subtlety kind of thing. This was very in your face, aggressively R-rated. And like I don't think Jeff regrets it either is a big thing. You can see Jeff Keighley's kind of tweets about it. And I like too, like Jeff put out before the show started, he's like, hey, we're about to do this. There's probably going to be some moments that don't hit or are great or you don't like, but we're going to put on the show that we want to put on, and we're going to try.
Like that first band? I don't know, man.
Yeah, apparently people weren't into Phoenix.
I really, really liked the second one, though.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, all the orchestra stuff was fucking
man, but like, where did they find those guys?
Phoenix, they're like a known band.
Are they?
Yeah, they do because they use like Master System in their instruments.
I guess.
It's like a whole...
I mean, they're no Anamanaguchi, but they're...
Yeah. I feel like Anamanaguchi is like the seminal one of those, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Of like using video game console.
Can we get like TWRP on there next year or something? Like,
Yo, man.
Fuck, dude. Hell yes. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think Josef Ferris, whichever. I don't think it was like a night ruiner by any means. Like, it speaks to the strength of the show that didn't take away really anything. But I don't think it was completely embarrassing. I think it was just like his tone didn't match the tone of the show.
Right. That's where I fell with it.
Yeah. But Tony, what did you think of the Game Awards overall?
I thought the show, but like I can really I compare it to like previous years, right? Previous years, the show kind of I feel like this year had a better flow to it. I think that the stuff that they were showing that wasn't the awards was well presented. I thought that there was maybe a little bit too much emphasis on like the eBay deals and stuff like that. I mean, I get that you got to pay for the show, but like, come on, man. Like, I don't need to have a full. I feel like the one advert, like, hey, check out some of these eBay deals, that would have been fine. But like, this is like the one that kind of stood out the most to me. It was just like, hey, now the next of these 8 eBay deals that we're gonna spend 4 minutes talking about is here. I don't know. I feel like that space could have, even in an advertising sense, unless eBay was dropping top dollar for it.
I would bet eBay dropped some good.
Probably. And so did Warframe, because there were like 7,000 ads for Warframe. But I don't know. Like,
set up context for that.
There have to be ads, but I feel like they could have been more tasteful for the event. Like, I mean, I get it. It's nice. It's good deals on like some gaming equipment and stuff like that. But like, God, I don't fucking care.
Not everybody can be Bethesda dudes.
Yeah,
that's true. Bethesda fucking dropping hot, silly.
Oh,
ads.
that ad was pretty funny.
That was good. Yeah. No, yeah, I didn't mind that stuff. Like, I thought the ads were fine. Like, definitely, there was no Schick Hydro moment, right? Yeah. Like, Schick Hydro Man or whatever.
The Hydro Bot, man.
The Hydro Bot.
Don't hate on the Hydro Bot, man. People are so upset he wasn't there this year.
Fucking Logan Moore, friend of the show, sitting in front row, Hydro Bot blowing up right next to him. And he's just stoked the whole time.
Yeah, we need Hydro Bot back.
There is not enough Bossman. Do you agree or disagree, Nabishin?
I'm conflicted because like
there was a good amount of Bossman, but I wanted more. I always want more.
Like the whole intro thing with him was like that's very much Kyle being himself. So that was good and that
was great. Yeah,
not like being the commercial self he has to present himself in like in previous years, but like maybe the show. I hate to say maybe the show was a little bit better that Kyle was in there.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately,
it was more focused.
Yeah.
And I think that generally helps.
Like probably like my only like real issue with the Game Awards honestly was just like it's kind of like the emphasis of what we're presenting. Mm-hmm. Like probably my biggest thing was like the best RPG was gone to Persona 5, which was a Game of the Year contender. Mm-hmm. That got like kind of like casually mentioned. Yeah, we had to like have actually dedicated moments for like best esports game or something like that. So
mm-hmm.
This is like where's your focus and like I could totally just see that being we couldn't get the developers of Atlas to actually say something or something like that. So that could be something, but like that just like kind of was the only disappointing thing.
Yeah, and I think like a big part of that was also like who they had to present it. Like, I thought it was really cool that Andy Serkis presented the Best Performance Award. It's like, wow, like, the character performer who does digital characters presented this award, and like the person that came up, Melina Jurgens, like immediately was like, I can't believe you did this. You gave this to me. It was like, it was such a good mashup for that.
Yeah, Andy Serkis has done games with Ninja Theory, so it's actually a really cool moment.
Yeah, a super cool loop background, and I think that was like before Melina was there too. So, yeah, and you could tell Andy Serkis was so fucking stoked too.
That's the big thing about this. People were fucking stoked. Anima was stoked that he won Game of the Year,
dude. And Kojima was so fucking hyped. And yeah, like Aonuma and I always forget the director's name of Breath of the Wild. Like they were excited, Mm-hmm. And like they like the Nier video.
Did you see him with that sword though?
Yeah, dude, Aonuma was literally hyped. Like the Nier video of like them that they took the time to send that in, and it's obviously very stiff, formal Japanese. Like thank you. Like very appreciative kind of like, but like you can tell that there was a lot of heart and soul in that too. So
by the way, Andy Cortez is fucking wrong. The Nier soundtrack is phenomenal.
The new soundtracks are great. It's not my favorite soundtrack this year, but I'm glad like that game got recognized in some aspect. I'll say, because a lot of people were like, "Man, Nier's gonna get shafted this whole award show," but no, it did not. But yeah, it's a good show. Now let's get into all the fucking cool stuff that they announced. I wrote everything down here. We don't have to go through everything. Like, no one fucking cares about the World War Z video game that's coming. Scott, how hype are you for a World War Z video game? Or at least I feel like it is safe to say our listener base doesn't necessarily care what our hot take on the co-op multiplayer World War Z game is. Looks fun.
I mean, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a co-op version, so I mean,
that's cool.
Hopefully, there's some sort of split screen play. But
I feel like the weird thing about the World War Z game is that they announced another game called GTFO, which is kind of a similar thing from the Payday developers that is like focused 4-player co-op, and it looks way more interesting. Like, it also seems like way more like of a video game.
It really seems to me that like people want a Left 4 Dead 3 again.
Yeah, or dude, just people are hungry for it.
Yeah, people really want that again, apparently. So, like, it's been long enough, and like, I don't think there's really ever been a game since then. Like, I guess Evolve was somewhat that for a while, but like obviously that didn't last long. But like, yeah, I don't know.
Weirdly, like the closest is Vermintide, like the Warhammer game. It is like a 4-player co-op, which actually it's free for games with gold on Xbox One. So I just downloaded it the other day. So, like, that is, like, strangely the closest kind of in that specific genre of, like, a co-op, play through these levels type game. And that's even different. There's, like, RPG mechanics and stuff in that. But, yeah. So we'll go through... Let's go through the hits. Let's talk about From Software.
Uh-huh.
So
that's the hit.
This is the hit. Shadows Die Twice. This weird... 30-second From Software teaser.
That thing looks gross.
Whatever is going on there. I mean, like, Tony and I were immediately like, this is Bloodborne 2. Like, I don't fucking care.
It looks very much like the style of a Bloodborne 2 weapon.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like this.
Or
looks
a
like
Bloodborne weapon, rather.
A trick weapon, yeah.
Yeah.
That is the immediate vibe I got. It's covered in blood also.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What did you think the same thing, Nabashin?
I mean, yeah, like immediately I was thinking that was probably like Bloodborne 2, but they did say like they're making it themselves a new IP, so like it'll probably just be another Souls-esque game with a different name. So
yeah,
I'm down.
It could be like people
spiritual
are
successor to Bloodborne.
Yeah, which I'd be down to as well if like they changed
as
the
successful as like Bloodborne is, and obviously how Dark Souls is. Like I could see From Software wanting to do something multi-platform instead of an exclusive. Yeah, Bloodborne is a Sony exclusive, so I would see they would put that more of a priority than Bloodborne 2.
Yeah, although like I would bet good money that Sony would pay them a lot of money to make another Bloodborne game. Oh, yeah. So, and I bet that contract has already happened, and there will be another Bloodborne. But you're right in saying that it's likely that might not be the next thing that comes out of them. And they have gone out and said they were working on multiple projects now. 'Cause fucking From Software's, they got that Dark Souls 3 money, and they're doing it A-okay. Yeah, that I got Bloodborne 2 vibes. Some people were theorizing that it might be like a Western, or more like Western, like United States-esque, like Bloodborne-like game.
That'd be cool.
Or an Eastern Bloodborne-like game, kind of in the Japanish,
or
like the samurai-esque kind of feeling. But
watch out, Bloody Neo.
I mean, there was like there's like a bunch of kanji in the background, so
yeah. But I was looking at it, and it did kind of also seem like not necessarily like explicitly kanji, just kind of gibberish. But I don't know.
That's racist, for sure.
Is that racist?
No.
Did it? No. No, I was watching.
Insensitive. Let's say that.
It was culturally insensitive. I was watching the Easy Allies, like, do the play-by-play. And they were like, "This doesn't seem like actual kanji." So I was taking it from their perspective. They watched it like 4 times, and then the last time they watched it at quarter speed. It's very great. I don't know if you've taken the time to watch that stuff yet. Very good.
Certain parts of it, like when Bridges came up, I immediately had to like look that up.
Because
that was a big thing last year. Like Bridges, like funny.
They have 2 reaction breakouts. One is the From Software game, and the other is the Zelda DLC. So they're both very much worth watching for Ian's reaction alone. But yeah, Scott, you should look up this teaser. I want to get your take, your vibe for this new From Software project.
It's like 20 seconds long, and yeah, it broke everything on the internet for like.
It is a great teaser. I'll say.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Because it's like all you need to tell me.
What's the name again?
It's Shadows Die Twice. So all you need to tell me is
that was easy to find. Okay.
Yeah. Sure was. Literally Google search the first result.
And if you're on like Google Chrome, you just type Shadows, and it's like Shadows Die Twice. That's what you should search.
After some shadow hint.
Yeah, probably.
Sonic or something.
How long is it supposed to be?
Those are tailored search results, not options. So that's what you're seeing.
Yeah, Shadows Die Twice OC, original character.
Shadow X OC.
I feel like so this year we got way into AMVs. Next year we should get way into original characters.
Some DeviantArt shit.
The fuck?
Yeah. Scott, give me what are you feeling? What are you feeling from this teaser?
Nothing. This teaser doesn't tell us anything.
I know, it's
not
great.
Supposed to tell us everything.
But like, give me.
It tells us. Fuck all.
Listen, it tells us.
Dude. It tells us.
From Software is making a new game.
It tells us fuck all. This could be a new movie.
I'm
no
a
gameplay,
believer.
no hype. Says Scott.
Yeah. There you go. Okay, I'll accept that. It's the Jared Green philosophy.
But you have to understand, there was nothing to be drawn from it. Like, it's different when like Nintendo comes out with a teaser of a nice little world, and then Link shows in a cameo, and that's it. Like 10 seconds. This shows us a contraption constricting that is covered in blood.
Yeah. That's what I like to hear, though. Can you say those words slower?
No. It doesn't show us anything.
Scott,
listen, man.
Scott does bring up an interesting point, though, because like this year's been a very trailer-filled years of logos. If you think like Metroid Prime and even Bayonetta 3,
Yeah.
and just logos is like all you need. But like at the same time, acknowledgement. You're acknowledged that like we're actually doing this thing. So like that's
right.
A lot of
like the other way to do it would be, instead of doing the logo or something like that, you'd show us Samus or a Metroid or something that we already know.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't show us anything.
Recognize.
It really doesn't.
I think like that's part of it, though. It's like the excitement that maybe whatever From Software is making in this kind of dark, grim style look with blood is exciting.
It could just be Red Thread.
It could be.
It wasn't dripping.
It's what the fucking mech game that they made? Armored Core. It's another Armored Core game. Twist.
Could be another Armored Core game.
Armored Core with bones. The first big thing, like once the show got started, was Campo Santo, developer Firewatch, Scott's favorite game of 2016.
Well, it's not my least favorite game of that year.
It's also fair. Announced their new game called The Valley of Gods, which had. It's funny because like John Anderson like texted me. He's like, "Fuck, dude." I was like, "Yes, you and me, we're on this together."
What's it called?
The Valley of Gods.
That sounds like a huge disconnect from something like Firewatch.
It's very different. It seems like in the same kind of like walking around in an environment and exploring.
Yeah, I hope this time is good.
All right. But it's these two women exploring some kind of ancient tomb in Egypt, it looks like. And they are filming it on like old school film. And maybe they're making a movie, maybe not. It's kind of left ambiguous since there's no dialogue in the trailer, but it's a lengthy trailer of them just kind of exploring this environment. And it looks gorgeous. And the music that they paired up with it was very good. It was a good trailer. I was into it. There's a very good animation in that trailer. A lot of like enthusiastic movement and excitement. So, I don't know what vibe you got, Nabashin, but
not really my bag.
that looks like my bag.
But like I did appreciate like because like like I don't know if they like like distinctly showed it at first. That you were playing as a woman, but like like you eventually see your hands and like you see you have longer nails and like you have a slimmer form. So it's like, oh, you're two women going through this thing. So I said, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they might be married too. The character that you're playing has a wedding ring on.
Ooh.
So I don't know. We'll see. It seems like it could be if they're using like this old school camera. It could be like in the past. So either way,
did I hear this right? Like, isn't it like the somewhat premise for this game is like archaeologists like like going to the tombs and like finding stuff, but like this is like the first time you're really doing that, and it's like you don't know this is like the right thing to do or not. I think I heard that somewhere.
I haven't heard anything specific on the game outside the trailer, so I can't say. But it's cool just to see what Campo Santo is working on, and like at the end it's like 2019. It's like cool. Fucking not coming anytime soon. Got it. Sea of Thieves got a release date.
Mm-hmm.
March 20th. Good date. It was kind of like a weird. I feel like there was no hype behind. Like there was no build up to them announcing a date. We knew it was early 2018, but that's a good pick. And my only concern is like God of War will probably be coming around that time, but those games aren't very similar.
Yeah, I'm about to say they're very different.
I don't think they'll cannibalize on one another. It's just like me thinking about my time. And I messaged NATO and I was like, I want to go on pirate adventures with you. So we're gonna make that happen. I believe. Where are you at with Sea of Thieves now? Yay or nay?
Nay, just because
because it's really Destiny with pirates.
It's multiplayer centric, so I'm not really into it.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's talk about Bayonetta.
I will say Mark and Katie are into Sea of Thieves, though, so that might be something I might have to invest.
Okay.
Because we had to have a game to play together, apparently. But like, Bayonetta. That's the thing.
What? Take me through your reactions, Nabashin, live.
It's weird because like I did the like obligatory Hubert thing of just like saying Bayonetta 3 believe right before the Game Awards even started.
Yeah.
Not really believing it, honestly. I just put it there just to be like sure.
That you are Nostradamus and you did project the future.
No, I'm not going to use that joke.
Good call.
You know what I was going to do, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. But like, yeah, it was great. Like, very excited. Those games. Oh, well, Bayonetta 2. Cause like Bayonetta itself, the original one, had like a good resurgence this year, and like I felt like it got a lot of appreciation this year that it hasn't gotten in years. And like since pretty much since it came out, and now more people get to play Bayonetta 2 because it's actually on a system that people actually have. So like, and like. It makes me really happy because, like, obviously Bayonetta 2 didn't sell that well at all, being just a Wii U exclusive. But, like, at the same time, that game was a Game of the Year contender for a lot of outlets. Even the Game Awards, it was, like, a Game of the Year contender. Even won some Game of the Years at some places, I believe. So, because that was insane to me. Like it's actually getting acknowledged and known about, like kind of how Yakuza is getting acknowledged and known about this year. So like having people actually get around to playing Bayonetta 2 and like understanding what makes those games so good is a great thing. And like Bayonetta 3 is like just like something that's like fuck yeah, can't wait.
So just like to take you through it, Scott, and our listeners, the announcement: Bayonetta 2 coming to Switch. It includes Bayonetta 1 on Switch, and it's coming out literally on Nobishin's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
The collection of those two games.
It looks like they understand you're a fan.
Yeah, it's like they know Nobishin. That's just crazy though. It's like, February 16th, why not? Like, what if we did this date? That's good too. Like it's a good idea for Nintendo. It's a different kind of game for their platform, and that is of the Wii U ports, right? Like I think that's a appropriate one because then Bayonetta 2 isn't stranded on Wii U where it can never shine. Like a lot of people have Switches. A lot more people are going to have Switches going forward, especially after Christmas.
It's like all I probably need now is just the Wonderful 101 and Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, and I'll be good just to like not have my Wii U anymore.
Just burn it to the ground, yeah.
More or less.
And then they announced Bayonetta 3, Nintendo Switch exclusive. It's just crazy because like Nintendo bankrolled Bayonetta 2, which was cool, right? It was like I don't know why they did that, right? I still don't. They wanted to have cool exclusives on their platform. They'd work with Platinum with Wonderful 101. I guess it makes sense. I thought like when that Bayonetta 3 trailer started, it was like a red herring and they were going to announce Wonderful 102, honestly. Like it was going to show the moon and then like the ship coming down from the moon or whatever. But then it was fucking just it was straight up Bayonetta 3. It seems like that's probably pretty far off. But yeah, it's just like that game there must have been something Nintendo saw in how it sold on Wii U, or maybe like when it came to PC this year, there must have been something. Because I feel like Nintendo wouldn't just do that twice out of good grace, like, or maybe they would. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, like, it's something unique to that platform, especially for it being exclusive. Like, it's like other than like Xenoblade, like that's like what you would say like the hardest of hardcore type of games, or Zelda this year, I guess you would say too as well.
Mm-hmm.
But like, there's no other games like that, and like even that genre of character action games, like there's not that much of it. And like if you could only get that on Switch, it's like that's just like a crazy concept on its own.
It is crazy. It's just like Bayonetta is like the least Nintendo game ever. But like now the majority of the Bayonetta franchise is a Nintendo exclusive. Like Bayonetta is like a Nintendo character, like in that realm. And that's awesome.
Yeah, she's in Smash. She'll probably come to Mario Kart. No.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
That would be so cool. Imagine what her fucking hair car would be.
Oh, her car would totally be out of hair. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just think that's really cool. Like that's just it's a big step out of the comfort zone for Nintendo, I think, and that's good for them. Soul Calibur 6 was announced. Tony was hype on this.
Yeah, that was like the one thing that
one thing you texted us about. Like
I forgot that I wasn't texting the group about anything that I saw, and I was like Soul Calibur, and I was like, wait. Hell yeah, man! Soul Calibur's rad.
Soul Calibur is rad. It's cool. I
didn't think the last two.
Well, like the last Soul Calibur game was on PS3 360.
Yeah,
like, it's been a minute.
5. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I had Yoda in it, right? That was the Star Wars one.
Well, the last one?
Oh yeah,
the last one had Ezio in it.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's like the last two that were just kind of which it's cool to see like that.
Right, because one was really good.
They'll do something new.
2 was my favorite.
2 is great.
I think 2 is everybody's favorite.
Yeah, it's everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
Then 3 was all right. It's still pretty good. Then 4 was no, and then so was 5. I was also just no.
Yeah, I thought 3 was all right. 3 and 2 are the only ones I've played, and I like both. Yeah, I like. It's been a long enough time, and like they specifically said, like the director of this game worked on Tekken 7, which is generally well regarded.
Harada.
So, and this is his project, so that's cool. Like I think I feel like they've had enough time to kind of reconfigure that series and make it really strong again. Who do you think would be the guest characters? Or characters?
If they ever bring it to Switch, like they have to bring back that Link again, and that would be like the thing that.
Nah, if they bring it to Switch, it'd be Bayonetta now. She's got to be everything, every fighting game. She's a Nintendo character now. It's just fucking weird, like those weird Tekken Mario costumes. Remember that? Like, yeah, I don't know. They like teased a third character in that trailer. They only showed two, and then they teased a third that I don't know, looks cool. PUBG. They showed the new map for that, which Tony's played, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. But they also said, hey, the 1.0 release is December 20th. And that the new map, this desert map, is coming to Xbox One in 2018, early 2018, I think they said. And obviously they reiterated that that goes to early access on Xbox One very soon. So I liked, they announced showed more of the Breath of the Wild DLC, the Champion's Ballad, and then fucking just dropped it out. It's out there that night.
Yeah,
available now. I have to I think what I'm doing at this point. What I've decided is I have to wait until I'm done all the things I want to be done with, and then I'll allow myself to just lose myself to that game again. But yeah, I like that trailer too they showed for the Champion's Ballad because it tells you like nothing narratively about what's going on. It just kind of shows you a lot of the new things that they're adding.
Are you going to mute Zelda for the rest of this year?
Mute Zelda? What do you mean?
Like on Twitter.
Oh, true. I might. I already saw like one screenshot. It was like new armor. I was like,
that looks like armor.
It's new armor. I don't know. I might.
That armor looks like armor.
Maybe. I feel like I've gotten pretty good at avoiding stuff, but yeah. I just I still, it's exciting to just like see a lot of that game and still not really know like what the expansion's about and how it takes place. But yeah, I don't like, if you watch the trailer, there's a thing at the end of that trailer. I want people to just not know about that thing. It's great. Even Scott.
Maybe.
And then I wrote a couple other things down. Like, this new THQ Nordic announced a new game called Fade to Silence. That looks kind of cool, but that's the major stuff I think we covered. Which is good. There's a lot of good announcements. So there's going to be more stuff tonight. Obviously, we said we'll do like some kind of live stream alongside with that. Tony, Scott, and I will. We'll ad hoc. Maybe we can hop Nobishin in after it's over to talk about it. But so we won't be able to talk about that here. There was a rumor that maybe the God of War release date or release window had been kind of tightened up to March. But it's not really worth talking about because we'll probably know tonight. I would bet. I would expect. It's Sony's last big event before E3 of next year. And God of War is supposed to come out early in next year. So just other quick news stories. Just want to touch on these. Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics did confirm there's a new Tomb Raider coming, which we knew through leaks, but they hadn't said anything officially. It was cool. They put out a statement on Twitter and I think on their blog as well.
Do you see how they written that statement?
No.
If you don't use Tomb Raider and Lara Croft, if you look at all the capital letters that they use, it spells out shadow.
Really?
Yes, really.
Huh. Theories. Yeah, I mean, we presume that Shadow of the Tomb Raider is the next Tomb Raider game. Yeah. But it was cool because they said our journey will begin with a major event in 2018. But let me see if I can find the actual pull quote. We want you to know that it won't be long between the official reveal and when you can play it. So Square Enix now is also embracing kind of that more recent structure of announcing a game pretty close to its release. So that's cool. I think that's a smart move. Nintendo's done that now, and Bethesda, and still not Sony.
You think they'll go for that exclusive again with Xbox?
I don't know. I hope so, because I think Microsoft could use it, but
They could definitely use it. But I think they got so much backlash about it last time.
might not be worth it.
Yeah.
And I don't think like it ended up being a console seller by any means, but we'll see.
It was the best game for that console that year, I think. But
Yes, I agree.
But yeah.
It's still great. Like Rise of the Tomb Raider is still super good. Speaking of consoles, PlayStation announced this week they sold now worldwide. PlayStation 4 is sold through over 70.6 million units, which is crazy. And the benchmark, just for reference, the PlayStation 3 hit in 8 years, right? 7 years?
You could say it's lifetime.
Yeah, lifetime. The benchmark PS3 hit was 80 million. And PS4 is now 4 years old, so half that time, and it's nearly there. So, but I would bet, like, if you compare PS4 sales to 360 sales, that would add up. That would, like, line up. It's definitely selling faster than the 360 did, but that kind of exponential growth. So, yeah, PS4 is doing real good. PSVR is apparently sold through over 2 million units, which is pretty good for a $300 peripheral. It's pretty good. And apparently, according to Sony,
do you know if that's still the best-selling VR unit?
I don't. This GameSpot story doesn't specify. I doubt. I haven't seen anything from Vive or Rift on their sales numbers anytime recently. So
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Although I know Rift is putting out that kind of cheaper version of the Oculus. So, but yeah, I think like a lot of people think those two are specifically just too expensive right now. So, but I will say, like, having access to a PSVR now, it's very nice. Definitely like feels it's got a very good build quality. So, and apparently software for PS4 titles has been over 617 million, which is just, and that's digital downloads and retail. So that's crazy. Video games.
Videojuegos.
The only other news story that kind of happened, again, unrelated to anything else, is Mega Man 11 got announced. I don't know if you're caught up on Frame Trap, Nabshan, but the week before this was announced, Ben Moore said, "Boy, I would just love it even if they just announced Mega Man 11 and it was still classic graphics." And then this happened like the day after. Yeah, so it's the 30th anniversary of Mega Man this year, and Mega Man 11 is a 2D Mega Man game. It is a new art style. It's kind of like a mixed blend of 2D, 3D, like with 2D shading and everything. I think it looks great.
Looks good.
And it is coming to PS4, Xbox One, PC, and the Switch in 2018. So, looks cool. And yeah, it's got like tons of new mechanics and stuff in it. Looks cool. Good vibes. Mega Man's not dead after all. I didn't kill him. Man, that's good. That's an old joke. That's an old IP joke.
It's a very old joke.
But like, if you think about it, though, Mega Man was very depressingly dead he's been dead for like the last 4 years. So, yeah, this is the first new Mega Man game in a long time, and that's cool. I think it looks great. I've still like never super been in Mega Man, like the Mega Man proper games, but they also announced that there is a Mega Man X collection coming to all platforms, right? PS4, Xbox One, Switch. And that's 1 through 8, correct?
Yes. I don't think they technically have said it's gonna be like a collection yet. They just said all the Mega Man X games are coming to those platforms. So
Yes.
we don't know if like it's gonna be all in one thing because like literally no one wants Mega Man X7. Like that's the one that everyone can agree on. That like no one wants Mega Man X7. Some will say like Mega Man X8 is good. I never played it. And some people don't really like Mega Man X6. I like that one. Just really really hard. So like, but everyone can agree that Mega Man X7 is not something anybody wants. So I don't know if that's gonna be something that'll like how they're actually gonna do that.
Yeah, George Cruz specifically said to me, I can't believe Mega Man X7 and 8 are coming out again before Beautiful Joe. That was the thing that he said to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I didn't know there was so much spite for those two games. But, I mean, like, that's all the Mega Man X games. Like, there's only 8, right? So.
Yeah, there's only 8 of them.
If you're going to do...
There's a weird RPG one as well that I never played.
Ooh. Tell me more. Yeah. Okay. Damn it.
But yeah, like as soon as that announcement went out, like I text Danny, who's the only other like Mega Man X super fan that I know. I was like, we could get to play Mega Man X1 and X4 again, which is both our favorites on our Switches and /or PS4. So that's a great feeling. So like we were both psyched for that. Even though literally I just played Mega Man like X 1 through 3 on my Super Nintendo Classic, but whatever.
Look, man, Alex and I are gonna be over here with Mega Man Legends 2, the real MVP.
Fuck yeah. Tony gets it.
Mm-hmm.
I did forget to touch on one part from the Game Awards. And this is a good closer to our news segment. This is a new Death Stranding trailer.
Yeah.
I also
something else, man.
That trailer is fucking great. How tell me, Nabishin, take me on the journey through your reaction to this Death Stranding trailer. I assume you were just like along for the ride.
I mean, yeah, of course I'm along for a ride. Like, it's this is an interesting thing which you're looking at as far as like in the context of like I'm about to say making sense, but like that's a little too mean.
It felt the most cohesive, right? Are you with me on this? Like this, it started to feel like something as opposed to like some ethereal idea.
But at the same time, this is probably like my least favorite of the trailers that they've shown of that so far.
Really? Okay.
Just because like
the Mads one is really good, I'll say.
Yeah, the Mads one's really good, and like the whole like whales on the beach, whatever. In the first one was like just interesting on its own.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this one actually had voice work. This one actually had like dialogue going on.
It had a name. So Norman Reedus' character has a name, Sam, which is weird. And Kojima tweeted out that he's the played character. So he's the protagonist. But I like this because like it made the game feel like way more like a horror game, which I'm assuming like that is just like this is probably a horror game. Or there's horror aspects to it at the very least. It's very spooky. It's very atmospheric. I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently it shook Tony.
You really liked that word.
It was such a good use of shook.
Uh-huh.
Man, I'm just like, because I think they were losing me with like, man, these just weird trailers, but like this one brought me back. I'm back in Nabishin. I believe in Kojima.
Same.
And just like when him and Kojima and Reedus came out after the trailer, they were just so stoked, man. And they were like, we're back together. Nothing's going to stop us this time. Little poking fun at Konami with Silent Hills. But, yeah, like, I don't know. It was good vibes. They're excited about it. It's got an engine now. It might be a video game someday. I I did like your tweet of like I might actually die before Death Stranding comes out.
that was a legit thought I'd had when I finished watching that trailer. It's like I'm never gonna play this. Like your joke or quote unquote joke with Kingdom Hearts 3 is like that's almost come to an end. So like so far you're doing
Yeah, exactly.
As far as surviving it. So like
so far so good.
But like I'm just looking at this. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be alive when this happens. It's
like there is definitely more of a. This just feels like so far. It feels impossibly far away. But I will say, like, I am enjoying. I'm not like the thing is, I think is like I'm not hyped. I just like I like the vibes, right? I'm just enjoying being in the era before Death Stranding, which I'm sure will continue on for a great long while.
Yeah.
Unless like the video game comes out in 2 years and it's like 3.5 hours long.
Yo, what if like E3 happens next year and Kojima's like, it's coming out next month, guys.
It's coming out September 2018. Let's go.
I mean, I'd be into that.
And it's just Metal Gear Solid 5. I mean, like, there's also like, what's worse though, now Machine, like, and George Cruz, he's getting all the call-outs this week. He tweeted this as well. What's worse, like, this game never comes out, or this game comes out and it's like a boring third-person shooter, or if it's not a boring third-person, but is just a third-person shooter. You know, it's weird. We're in a weird spot with that. Like, what could that game be at this point to even be exciting? Like when it actually is a video game. It's hard to say.
I mean, it's like I don't know, like it's something that's like constantly tries to grab your attention, and it's like I can see some people saying like it's trying too hard to grab your attention.
Yeah,
I'm not in that camp necessarily, but like I said, this is like my least favorite of them. That's because like I felt like it was just like not weird for the sake of being weird, but like I don't know, like there's just something off about it this time around. I just don't really understand why.
I got you. That's what Death Stranding is. It's that weird feeling inside of you. it's a fetus inside your stomach.
Apparently. I told Blessing that like if he does not have a picture of himself inside Norman Reedus' mouth like the next few days, I will be very upset with him.
Who?
One of his baby
Blessing?
pictures.
Oh yeah, that's
so.
true. Like it's just Blessing's face on the fetus. God damn it. You gave him that idea now, though, too. He's gonna
if he doesn't do it, then he's a fucking coward. I will say that on it now.
That's right. You listening, OK Beasts, you motherfuckers. That's it for news. Let's take a break. When we come back, it's weird to do it in this order. I like mixing it up. It's fun. When we come back, we'll talk about the video games that we've been playing. We've been playing a lot. I'm looking at our lists here. It's a good week for video games.
It's got some stuff.
So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a little bit.
Choo, choo, choo.
I'll be back.
Me too. I'm back. Tony? Scott?
I'm here.
Hi, Scott.
I never left.
I figured. It sounded like everyone was leaving but you.
Yep, I took care of myself before we started the show.
You know me. It's not a podcast unless I have to pee every hour.
So I feel like I should have asked this on the, not during the break time of the show, but is there anything in particular from the Game Awards that you would have me check out?
Yes. There were like orchestral parts that I think you would dig. They did some Zelda music, Persona music. I thought were really cool. There were some good speeches. The
First woman designer of a video game, or first.
Yeah, the first like female designer from the Atari era. She won their like industry icon award, and she came out and she gave a speech. It was a cool like little documentary style video on that. And the Zelda speeches like about like their experience with that game and whatnot, I thought were
Poignant.
yeah, they were really good. Like it was cool because I feel like the actual Zelda development team doesn't like kind of get out there that often. Outside of like Iwata asks and stuff like that. It was cool to get their kind of vibes for that.
Mm-hmm.
Is it weird that Anuma is becoming the new Miyamoto, more or less?
No, I mean he's kind of like Miyamoto's protege. Like that, I think that really makes sense.
But they seem like they were at the same level, I would say, and like I don't know.
Like I think the thing is like Aonuma, he is very much in the Zelda space, right? Where Miyamoto has his finger in every pie. There's a
That's
big
true.
difference.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you know, like it makes sense for Aonuma to come out there and draw the sword out of the fucking.
Yeah, it's more of like you know, like probably Miyamoto hasn't probably really done anything with Zelda probably since like Link to the Past, honestly. So.
No, because like he kind of like passed that series on to Aonuma.
I'm back.
And Aonuma is now kind of like that new director. He directed Skyward Sword and A Link Between Worlds, and now Breath of the Wild. So like he's kind of passing that torch too. So, God, let me look up his fucking name because I feel so bad.
How dare you, Alex?
I know. Hidemaru Fujibayashi. Fujibayashi. That's the name. It's a hard name, so I ask only for a little bit of slack. All right. Let's do this. We're back. Hey. Welcome
Hi.
back. Thanks. Thank you very much. Let's talk about video games.
Okay.
Scott, what you been playing?
Some good foot hook.
Fuck yeah.
So
Ghost Ship?
I got to the ghost ship and I got to the brain boss.
Damn. This is like a brain monster? Is it in a big glass cage?
Super
Metroid style?
Almost.
Okay.
It's a box with some glass in it
Okay.
because that's apparently what all the bosses do.
Fair enough.
This brain guy, he's real tough. It starts out looking like the fight's going to be a cakewalk, but it goes south real quick.
Yeah.
I didn't even get him past down his second health bar.
Jeez.
Yeah, so the first health bar, I was like, all right, this is fine. I'm still at full health. Second one comes in, and I guess the better way to start this would be to describe the arena you're fighting in, because that is why this is so difficult. You have a small platform in the middle of the room.
Okay.
Everything else is hooks.
Fuck.
Everything else is hooks. They're not the
Fine,
changing ones, but everything else
Okay.
is hooks.
I'm already upset.
Yeah, at the
though.
start, the bottom and I believe part of the top and a good chunk of the sides are covered with spike balls or just straight up spikes. So you can wall jump, but only in certain areas.
Great.
To fight them, this time you have to hook the two different balls on two different sides of the room,
Great.
as opposed to the one at the bottom coming up every time.
Yeah.
From from the gold chicken.
Yeah.
So what he does in his second phase is he goes and he blocks all of the hooks with the damage spikes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
All of them, and he does it frequently.
It sounds like a rad fight, though.
Yeah, and this works independently of his laser. You know the mini boss that just has a laser and you gotta hide behind the wall. You come down and you just do the loop. He has that, except for there's nothing to hide behind. You have to keep running around.
You have to like circle around.
Yeah, yeah. The good news is that this laser doesn't follow you. It's just really fast and it keeps going.
Okay.
So what ends up happening is you have to simultaneously clear hooks off and jump to them, and make sure you jump to the right ones and not get hit, so you don't get hit by that laser.
Damn.
While hooks are still being basically, it's after you go through one half of the side, he will reset the hooks. So the next time you go through, you still have to clear it. And you have to do this about 3 times while you are trying to shoot at him to do damage.
I need to play more Flint Hook.
So the first part of the boss fight is really easy because he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
He has 2 basic attacks where he shoots, I want to say, green type of lava.
Okay.
Either the top or the bottom of the screen, and you basically don't do anything until the things come out. You pop it, you do some damage as the circle thing comes around. The second you hit is that first bar goes down, all hell breaks loose because he starts covering the hooks and you can't do anything.
Jesus. This is making me stressed out over here.
So I think for this fight, fast hook is not like a luxury. I think you need it.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably a point and fast blast as well.
So,
which means that you have to be lucky enough to draw them.
I'm like, what got you back into the rhythm of Flint Hook? Were you just like thinking about it?
Kinda. I think it's worth noting that what got me out of Flint Hook is that I play on a controller, and any game that also can also use a controller gets controlled by the controller at the same time.
Got it.
So it's a combination of stuff like Black Desert being on, sometimes having just PUBG up, and some other games. Hopping in for 20 minutes of Flint Hook was like, while I was still playing those games.
Gotcha.
It wasn't the good in-between choice because I would then have to change the setup or close everything down.
I gotcha. That makes sense. Context. Did you play anything else?
Nothing really worth mentioning.
Okay. Didn't get back into this new PUBG situation?
Not yet.
Okay. Tony,
I played a few games here and there, but not really.
Okay. Tony, tell me about the desert map.
Have you played on it yet, Scott?
No.
Okay. It's available on the test server as of last night. It's okay. It's a PUBG map, but it's set in like a Mexican desert. I've played like 6-ish games, so I've been to I've gone to the place where you start the game, which is actually an accessible place. Not like you could get to the spawn island in the original PUBG map, but you have to get in a boat, go all the way over there, get stuff as quick as you can, then go back, and it's all the way on the very corner of the map. So like you have to do it immediately.
Yeah.
You start in the prison on this one, which is in the bottom left side of the map, but it's still on the main area. So it's accessible. I've been there. I've been to a couple of the different like major cities and then a couple of the side areas. The general feeling of me and the people I've been playing with is one, the map is huge, like really big. Two, there's not nearly as many trees, obviously, since it's in a desert, which that kind of makes sense. But like, if you don't find a scoped weapon, you're at a huge disadvantage immediately. So for that reason, a lot of people seem to be, you know, going straight for towns. No one like tries to go off and just do some random thing. Because if you jump out of the plane and end at like some little shack and there's nothing in there, you're screwed. You're gonna be running for the next 6 minutes to maybe get something on the, you know, out of the next closest shack. So people typically go to the city centers, and those are okay. It just seems like right now a lot of the weapons and stuff that people have been finding, it's just shotguns, because there are like 4 different shotguns, and then they added a sawed-off shotgun, which is a shotgun that goes in your pistol slot. So a lot of the games have either been one, everyone fights with shotguns, and that's basically the beginning of every game.
Nice.
And then you go switch from that to, if you happen to find an automatic weapon, you switch to that and hope to God you found a scope, because if you don't have a scope, you're screwed. And that's been my experience with it so far. I want to play some more on it, but obviously it's just still on the test servers. Vaulting is really cool. Definitely changes a lot about the game. Makes it so you can actually like engage in ways that you couldn't before. Like if someone's holding a building, you can go in through a window where previously you couldn't go through most windows. So that's cool. In general, I think good feelings about the new stuff. I'm hoping that they'll add something like a 6-man squad version to the big map, and like maybe get more than 100 people on it. That would be nice to see, just because it's so big and the circles moves pretty slow to accommodate for that. So the games seem really long. Like we had one game where we dropped in the town that ended up being the center of the circle for the first like 3 zones. So we just looted that entire town after killing the other squad that landed there with shotguns for a solid like 20 minutes, and there was no one else there. And then eventually the circle forced people in, and then we played the game as normal. But like there just seems to be a lot more space in that map. So
Cool.
Right, and then it's traveling from town to town is 100 times more dangerous.
I think there are a lot more vehicles, at least from what I could tell. Like usually in the map, there are enough vehicles on a PUBG map. Like if you're looking for a vehicle, most of the time you will find one.
It seemed like they kind of leaned into that when they did
the
trailer for that map too.
Yeah, which is fine. I think there has not been a time in that one, and I've been dropping in mostly city centers, where I haven't been able to find a vehicle. And there are a couple new kinds of vehicles, like now that, like I said, there's a 6-seater vehicle instead of just 2-seater, 3-seater motorcycles, and then all cars that are either 2 or 4-seaters. So yeah, I don't know. It's cool. It's definitely like, I don't know if it will become the main PUBG map. I think it's a cool alternative. I think they're both good, but that map definitely still could use some polish, like with like how weapons spawn and everything. Just because, like I said, most of the time you just find a pistol or one of 7 different kinds of shotgun most of the time. So
you can't hang in Battlegrounds, can you?
Can't what?
Can't hang.
Like hang from a wall.
Like someone's coming to a room, you can hang out the window.
No, you can't. You can't like do like what Vinny did in Hitman. No.
Okay.
Can't pull a Vinny.
I don't know. That's what I think of whenever I think of someone just hanging outside of a window hoping for people to leave.
Would you think that's a cool addition?
I could see a use for it. Yeah.
I like the idea though of you hanging out of a window while someone is looting a house, though, and somebody coming out of the house and seeing you hanging out of a window.
Yeah, I think that there's some emergent gameplay there that could be really cool. But I want them to perfect and implement vaulting and stuff before they figure that out, because that is a huge game changer. being
That's
able
what
to
I've
do
heard.
that. So
Yeah. Cool.
yeah.
Public service announcement that Monster Hunter beta is out right now.
Tony's like, well, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking
My
about.
eyes lit up.
I am gonna download that beta. I want to know. I want to know what's going on with Monster Hunter Worlds. What else, Tony? Sorry.
Just my games in general.
Yeah.
Well, I played this cool fucking video game that I want to talk to you guys about. And
Black Desert Online.
I mean, I can if you want.
No.
I was gonna talk about Danganronpa.
Dragon Grandpa. Take me on a journey.
So I'm like, I finished the prologue.
Got it. So you were in chapter 1 officially.
Yeah, but I'm in chapter 1, but like not in chapter 1.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So anyway, I was, and I'm gonna tie this in with Nier. I booted up Nier earlier this week just because those are the 2 games that I'm trying to finish before Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
And I got kind of mentioned this announcement before the show. I am kind of like not getting grabbed by it, and so I'm taking it in super small chunks to hopefully eventually get that. And according to Option, I'm still before the point in the game where, you know, if it's going to grab you, it's going to grab you. So, you know, I'm not turned off to the game or anything like that. It's just like I'm trying to gauge where the best place to spend the majority of my time is. So I put in a Dragon's Grandpa to you know take a quick gander, and because I've really liked those games in the past, and I've really liked it so far. The setup is good. It's a Dragon Grandpa setup, you know.
Fuck yeah, kids in high school killing each other. Let's go.
Monokuma showed up, you know.
Yep. Dude, I'll say like the moment. I don't think we really talked about it. The moment the Monokuma music plays for the first time in that game.
I was like, oh man, I'm this is Danganronpa.
Is a
Let's
good
go.
moment. Yeah.
If there was any doubt, this is Dragon's Grandpa.
Yes.
Where are you at right now?
He's at the end of the prologue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I finished the prologue, and I'm like, I got chapter 1 started, and it was like kind of getting late, and I was like, okay, I'm going to bed. I'll come back to this
in that game.
My favorite. I don't remember anyone's name yet, but my favorite character. See if you can guess who my favorite character is.
Is it the guy in the all white outfit?
Is that the one who's the ultimate question mark?
No, that's Rantaro.
Okay.
Rantaro.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know anyone's names. Guy in the white outfit. What's his ultimate skill?
He's the ultimate supreme leader.
Oh yeah, that guy. I think he's funny.
Kokichi.
Yes.
But who was the person you said, Namashin?
Rantaro.
Ryoma. Ryoma is the ultimate tennis player.
Oh, he's funny too. But my favorite guy is the ultimate bug dude.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Gunta is the best,
Gunta
man.
is so good.
Yeah.
He's like immediately from like when I first had like a couple lines of dialogue, I was like, all right, I'm into this.
Gunta's a gentleman.
Yeah, he
knows
is.
what it means to be a gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Now, I'm sure I got some like fucking PTSD from that game. I'm gonna be on Danganronpa spoiler cast this weekend with Peter Spezia on Sunday. I don't know when it's gonna end up going out, so I'm not sure, but it's like I've been like not thinking about that game. I'm like I have to go back in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Open the wounds back up. I'm excited. What a bonkers fucking game. You should finish that.
I really want to spend more time with that game. The only thing that I noticed, like, because all the Dragon Grandpa games that I've played so far have been, I think on Vita or like some mobile solution.
Vita was the first two. So.
Yeah. So playing it on PS4 and like it was weird. I just kept wanting to play it on a Vita. Where like in the past, and with something like Persona, I appreciated like Persona on the big screen and everything like that. I feel like Danganronpa just kind of works better for me on a mobile situation. So we'll see if that ends up being like, something that kind of bugs me after a while. But at the moment, I'm just here wishing that it was on a Vita or something like that.
It was great. It was great playing on the Vita. Honestly, I really enjoyed doing them that way. The problem is though, like that game is weirdly enough, that game is too much for the Vita right now.
Yeah.
Like you have to have like when that game came out, like the voices that were super low quality, so they have to have a low quality DLC you have to put on towards it, and like the graphics are just like muddy sometimes on the Vita, so it kind of sucks on that way. Like you look at the waterfall, it looks like nothing but pixels. So I'm almost jealous I don't get to see it in like glorious 4K or whatever.
I really
Sure.
liked it on PS4, as like that was the first time I had played a Danganronpa on the big screen, and I was really into it. So
Yeah, like I've been wanting to play Reloaded on PS4, but like Tony said, it's kind of weird just playing it on a TV screen. Like, it's kinda like right then and there.
but like in my defense, like if I could play every handheld game on TV, I probably would. Like I will say, like, you know, when we get to my games, I can talk briefly about it. But you know, just to mention, like I've been playing Breath of the Wild exclusively in handheld mode recently, which I never really did before, and that's been a great experience, though. I'll say, like, there's definitely merit there. So, it is on Vita, Tony. You can always, if it has cross save. I don't know if it does.
I just don't have a Vita, so
It totally does cross it.
So, true. Lend me my Vita. It's not doing anything. Got my Vita
yeah,
TV. I don't need
I
that piece
had
of
a
shit.
Vita at one point,
Yeah.
but no longer.
Rest in peace, Tony's Vita.
Rip the Vita dream, dude.
Yeah. Keep playing Danganronpa because I'd like to just have like a very open conversation with you about it when we get to Game of the Year stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely going to finish that game. I think that's going to take priority over Nier at the moment, but I feel like I should be able to get through both. I'm not super worried.
If I were to make a suggestion, I would say Danganronpa is more of a thing that I would think it would be more of the discussion that you would like. I would like to have with you more than Nier.
Sure.
Nier is something
Me
I could
too.
just like tell you about, and I think you would get. Danganronpa
Yeah.
is something completely different, where it's like
Nier is a game that I was excited to play for sure, and I definitely want to have that experience. But yeah, I like I said, I don't think I'll have any problem getting through.
You gotta live
Yeah.
Danganronpa.
Danganronpa is
for
something-
sure.
Danganronpa is something where it's like I could see you might not even liking some stuff, but like I think you would appreciate a lot more stuff going through it and experience for yourself. Like, oh,
Yeah, I mean,
shit.
there's some things that I like just having played Danganronpa games in the past. Like I see like some stuff like kind of getting set up to drop later in the game, you know, and in characters introductions and stuff. Like specific, like the obvious one, right? Like the ultimate mystery. Like that, I already know that there's going to be some bullshit that goes on with like what his talent is and stuff like that. So like that kind of stuff I've noticed in a couple different areas. So that's kind of a neat thing.
And the best part is like because this is the third one, like they know that.
Yeah, right. So like even me saying that, I could just be
they're
madly wrong.
Well, they're ready to throw you some curveballs, and I think
Exactly.
that's like, that's one of the reasons why that game's so good. Shit. Guys, fuck. I have to go change my top 10 list. Give me a second. Sorry, it's not set in stone yet, so that game's very good. Fuck. God damn, there's so many good games this year, guys. Cool. Keep us posted, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. On my catch up games of the year, basically.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe if Scott and I can get a time together to hang out, I will get a chance to check out Super Mario Odyssey as well.
Okay.
So, and that can be cool.
No, it's real good.
Yeah. There's.
I
cool
don't
stuff
doubt that it's good. You know. So
I've seen in that game. Yeah.
It's the thing about it is
Here we go.
it's very good.
yeah,
But the reason it's not it doesn't hit 10 is frustrating because it seems like it would have been it seems like it's not a stretch to have done it.
sure.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
I'm totally. I get your frustrations with that game. It's like my thing with Mario Odyssey recently has just been like, man, I just am not as into Mario games as I am other types of games. That has just kind of been my discovery recently. But like that's always been the case, you know.
Yeah.
I've always known that.
Mario was never real strong with me either, but like this was good.
I'm glad you really liked it. That's good.
So if I told you that my favorite Mario game is Mario Sunshine.
I would say you're weird.
Okay, after you said that I was weird,
I'm with you.
Yeah, right. It's the best Mario game.
I fucking love Mario Sunshine.
You see, the three of us agree with you.
Yeah, right. The people who matter agree.
Damn, Nobishin is
Just
getting
fuck-
thrown
I'm just
under the
messing with
bus.
you, dude. I'm just messing
Now
with-
that's racist.
Dun, 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 dun. It's the end of our sitcom episode, real quick. Fucking Christ, Nobishin.
So let me finish my question here.
Yeah.
Yes.
My favorite Mario is Super Mario Sunshine.
Yes.
Mhm.
How much like Mario Sunshine is Odyssey? Because I've heard that it's comparable.
There are a lot of
It is a
parts of it.
step. If we're talking about if 64 Odyssey and Sunshine were considered like direct sequels to each other,
Mm-hmm.
then Odyssey would fall somewhere between 64 and Sunshine.
Okay.
It is less tool heavy.
I think that
Doesn't
it's a
sound
Mario
true.
game that I would be able to enjoy. I just,
Oh yeah,
I want to. I will eventually get to it. Let's put it that way.
because this is coming off of you not playing 64,
Yeah, right.
right?
So
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And that time we played Galaxy together, and Tony's like, "Fuck, there are pointer controls in this game."
I did end up playing all the way through Galaxy,
Yeah.
and then like
Yeah,
some
like-
of Galaxy 2.
Yeah, Galaxy 2 is how I was thinking specifically.
How much a platformer that game was bugged me.
Yeah, I
Mm.
get that.
I actually didn't mind a
Odyssey's-
lot of the platforming stuff in there.
Odyssey is like way more all over the place. Like it's
Right, no, because it's 64 Odyssey and Sunshine. I think they have a very good balance
Mhm.
of everything that they try and do with the game.
yeah, they're worlds too, like
And
they're
then-
spaces.
Right, the worlds of spaces, and then they hand you all the tools you need just to go mess around in those spaces.
Sure.
Galaxy, I did not.
Yeah, I mean Galaxy's
Galaxy was much more of a platformer where it gave you the tools you needed to get through.
But Galaxy had Rosa Lima. Am I right?
yeah.
Rosalima?
Yes.
Rosa Lima.
Rosalina
Mm-hmm.
with and her Luma.
Well, I mean,
Well,
yeah,
you see with
Luma
two
is,
N's,
is
but-
the real hottie.
Hell yeah.
I'll be sure to watch all of Steal My Sunshine before Game of the Year.
It's good, man. That's been a great series.
Yeah, I didn't know about that series, so I'm getting back into Giant Bomb, guys.
Okay, good.
I watched their entire raid.
Okay, good. I did as well. I
This
watched it
week.
live.
Yeah, so and that'll tell you. So I'm getting back into it. So I'm finding out about their new
Dog
premium
bottom,
series.
dude.
Yeah, hashtag dog bottom. Dogbottom.com. Brought to you by Destiny Raid. And I didn't know about Steal My Sunshine. I'm very excited to watch that now. Because I had literally last week's Bombcast was the first podcast I'd listened to with either Abby or Ben on it.
I thought that was your first one.
Yep.
They really came into their own. As of late.
Yeah,
Really
I'm
did.
coming into matured Ben and Abby,
Mhm.
and they're like characters, and I love them. I told Logan Wilkinson that he was the Dan Reichert of our group, which is true. And it he was just reeling from it for 12 hours. It's like, dude, because we were like, hey, dude, how do you feel about Dungeons and Dragons? He's like, it seems like something complicated. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't
All right,
mess
yeah,
with it."
yeah.
And I was
okay.
like, oh,
You guys
dude,
good.
rough. Anyway, we were talking about video games. Have you been playing anything else, Tony?
Yeah, plenty of stuff.
What's up?
Well, I also played. I'm continuing my second playthrough slowly of Doki Doki Literature Club, but I'm gonna save that for when you talk about it.
Okay.
Scott and I have continued to play this dumb mobile game called Ragnarok Online Idle Pouring.
Yep, we've talked about idle pouring.
I'm getting ready to rebirth for the second time.
Oh god.
I've been sitting at the requirement to do it for 3 weeks, but I'm waiting to have some stuff in order before I end up actually doing it, pulling the trigger on it. I'm getting close.
How many are you going for?
At least, well, I have 4 level 90 pluses and 1 level 100. But the level 100 is De Niro, and I'm waiting
De
for
Niro?
I'm waiting for
Yes.
my my first orange pet to hit level 100. He's level 97.
In this game.
basically like, so there's the mechanic of this game is your character fights against some other dudes, and eventually you go up in levels and et cetera, et cetera. When you rebirth for the second time, your pets, which used to just be passive bonuses, they start to matter because they fight with one of them specifically fights with you. So basically, I'm just trying to get, and then there's a bunch of other mechanics that are and bullshit that you have to keep in mind. But in short, I just want my strongest pet to get to the level where he'd be able to fight with me before I go to the part where he needs to be fighting with me.
Which one is that?
Edgar is my strongest. He's the strongest tank.
I went for Drake.
Well, with my my MVP shards, I picked up Osiris, because Drake is okay, but Osiris is top tier. So I did that. But anyway, it's a dumb mobile game. I just felt like giving an update since the last time we talked about it was like 6 weeks ago. Okay, I want to talk about Black Desert Online because some shit happened this week.
God, all right.
So I think I mentioned last week that I left Scott.
You abandoned him like a
yeah.
monster.
The guild that Scott and I had been in, I left that guild, and unfortunately, that guild has collapsed at this point. It's not really a guild anymore.
Or are you trying to say that you were the backbone of that guild?
No, I'm trying to say that the 7 people that came with me were the backbone of that guild. So that whole thing happened. And I don't know what Scott's doing now. Scott, we should talk about this.
The guild itself is still noting.
Not for long.
Probably maybe.
So because the guild leader left, and a bunch of stuff is going, and a bunch of officers left, and so stuff. It's crazy. Anyway, so I left and I joined one of the top 8 strongest guilds in the game.
It's starting to sound like some Sword Art Online shit.
Yeah.
You joined like the Court Knight or whatever they were called, the Blood Knights, or I don't remember. I'm bad with names. Yeah, so basically, like what I ended like there. So the way that Black Desert Online, I think I'm gonna keep this super brief. The way that their like end game PvP structure works, you fight over territory and castles, right? The guilds that Scott and I were in, we fought over territory. And then the next tier up from that, well, several tiers up from where we were, is you basically are guaranteed to win at least a 2nd level territory each week, and that qualifies you to fight for a castle, which is like an entire region of the game. There are only 4 of them. So we are one of those guilds, soon to be 5. There are only 4 of those, and we're one of the 8 guilds basically that trades off those regions. But the way that the power structure in the game works, there's one guild, the strongest guild in the game, called Man Up, who they occupy the most lucrative castle, the one that brings in the most money. It's out in the desert, Valencian desert. They've held it for something like 15 weeks. The way that Siege works, once a guild owns a castle, they are automatically built in that castle each week, and all of the guilds who place against them out of the castle are allied against the guild in the castle, who needs to protect it for 2 hours in order to continue holding that territory for the next coming week. And each week that you hold a territory, you get multiplicatively higher amount of money, which is like, it's an insane amount of money. It's like billions and billions of silver. And then that gets split up amongst 100 guild members twice a week because of the way that payouts work in the game. So our guild, the one that I joined, I'm not super strong in the game. I have good gear, but I don't have like top tier gear. So me and a group of the more geared people ended up applying for and basically passing a combat trial and being accepted into this guild, who is one of like the lower in the top 8. So like they fight normally over the 1st and 2nd like level of the regions, the ones that give the least amount of money. It's still a lot, but it's not nearly as much as the other ones. So the time that I joined was actually super interesting because of the way politics in this game work is actually like it's actually like a thing. Like the guilds will politic with each other and make alliances, and there's backstabbing, and like you'll hand off regions to another guild to give them a payout as an incentive for them to keep helping you and further in future weeks if you're stronger than them, et cetera, et cetera.
So I joined this guild, and like right as the guild leader and all the officers in the guild had somehow like politicked their way into controlling the entire landscape of the conquest war that week, and ended up landing them in the second best castle in the game. So it was super interesting to be a part of that whole thing. But basically, I went in 1 week from being in like a guild that does nodes and does pretty well in them, but just okay, into now a guild in the second strongest castle in the game, which is super weird to be a part of, because like we're allied with the second strongest guild in the game, and a bunch of we dropped with like 7 guilds of like all really strong people, and it was really cool to see and watch those wars unfold of like 900 players fighting over this thing, some of them allied, some of them not. So yeah, it's super interesting, this whole scene that I've kind of like been party to but not a part of, and now joining this much stronger guild have very quickly became a part of. So that's Black Desert. It's fucking going. Things are happening, and then
climbing that ladder.
Yeah, Wednesday of next week the new class comes out, so that's cool. I'm excited to try that out.
Some Moe shit, right? Like some Adorbs anime.
So the newest character when it released on Steam was the Striker, like Monk in D&D.
Yeah.
New character is the female version of that, so she's a more kick-based character and uses a water dragon instead of like some red clone dudes.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's Black Desert. Some crazy shit going on.
Cool.
Yeah.
Rad. Hashtag Black Desert. Crazy shit. Nabishin. Video games. Fill me with video games.
So like I said, I've been playing a lot more lately, but like I've been like dedicating myself to like individual games, more or less. Like the only in between one's been like Mario Odyssey, obviously, just doing more of that. I passed the devil number, so like I'm near 700 now.
Okay.
666 was my reference. So
I got it.
okay.
I want to believe that there was some listener that was like, the devil number. My God, what? Starts pouring over notes. What could he be talking about?
But yeah, obviously, just still super enjoying that game. There's not more to be said about that. But like I've been doing more of my mainstays, like well, like as far as like my mainstays, I finished my mainstays, I should say. Like Night in the Woods, I platinumed that fucking game. I platinumed
Yeah, you did.
hard.
You finished it too. You had
Yeah.
not finished it last week.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that game's great, beginning to end, I feel. The thing about the ending that people were having, like they said, falling off for him.
Yeah.
Like I kind of do agree that like it was like it's just a little like weird and out of place, but like it's one of those things where it's like it's always been part of the story. You just like really didn't really focus on it, and like and like it's almost like kind of like exactly a persona, like your main day to day is what you're really focused on, and then we get this other aspect of it. It's like, oh yeah, and it's like that's like the focus near the end. So it's like, oh okay, then like it feels weird and out of place at first, but like once you like try to figure out like why everything is like that way, then it's like, oh okay, I kind of get it now. It's not the best part of the game, obviously, but like it's something I still enjoyed. But yeah, that game is like still really good for me. Like I've enjoyed every moment of it, like to the point that like I replayed it again, and I played it like actually like 3 times. Like it was like 3.5 times I had to play it before I got the platinum.
Damn.
Which apparently was like a super rare thing. Not many people actually had it. Mostly because it's like it was glitched at first. But I'm trying to think. Yeah, like those trophies were glitched at first, but then like eventually like they patched it and were able to fix everything. So like now it's like everybody's able to get it. It's just time consuming, very time consuming, and like I managed to get that, and like apparently it's like a really rare thing. That's like my rarest trophy now. So it's like, huh, that's an interesting factoid that I learned about myself. So like I'm a crazy person.
Yeah.
But like I enjoyed it that much to do it though. Nothing's necessarily even hard about it, like other than like the guitar stuff, which is still fun. It's just like hard just to get like to the point where you're good at it. But like I said earlier before, like the story and the characters and the interactions I had with that game, I just enjoyed so much, and just going through that game was like it's seriously like one of the highlights for me of this year is that game.
That's awesome.
Speaking about another highlight though, Hellblade.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like for some reason, like I said, like I've been on and off Hellblade for like since it came out, and I always liked it for what it was, but it never really grabbed me. But I feel like after you like do those 2 side bosses and then you go to like the main door to like move on to the next part.
Yeah.
Like when you first start that game, you have to like get through a door, but you have to go through like 2 other doors first and do the trials for both of them, and then you go to through the big door. But after you go to that big door, it's just like top to bottom. Like I just couldn't get enough.
Right. That's when
That's
'cause
why
that's
when I couldn't stop. Like,
yeah, I did
had
a
to keep
similar
going.
thing where after that point, I didn't put it down until I finished it. Did you finish it?
Oh yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah,
Yeah, it's very good.
yeah. It was really something. Like honestly,
Yeah,
like,
right. Like it is like I've never seen anything like that game.
It really fucks everything up for me again. Like,
Yeah, right. Like it
like-
did the same thing for me. So
like-
it's good to not be alone.
Yeah, just like Night in the Woods, it fucks everything up again. So now I have to like rethink of everything and like
Yeah.
what's everything really means to me. Should I really put Sonic Mania on my top 10? Yes, I could. Yes, I
No!
should. But
You should.
but like it's so hard. It's so hard just to keep that game when I have stuff like that on the list.
Which game are you trying to keep?
Sonic Mania. They made a good Sonic game for the first time in years.
But I mean, if it's not beating out the other games, kick that shit off that list.
I said that more as a joke, but I'm just saying like as an example.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad, like, because man, like, so Logan Wilkinson finished it, and obviously I recommended it to him. He's like, that's his game of the year. He told me that's his number 1, hands down. And,
Yeah, okay.
Hellblade.
If it's beating out something on his list, kick what it beats out off his list.
Yeah, but he was talking to me about it, and similar impact of like, man, like this game is just, it's something else. Like, I guess I don't know if you're, I assume like it seems like we're kind of like at the same point, at the same level with that game. But yeah, I've never played a video game like that in my life. It just does things so well that other video games have never even like tried to do, and the way it does it and the vehicle it uses to deliver those messages is very, very good. Yeah, I mean, I talked about it last week and like the voices stuff and just how that plays into gameplay. And you got to that challenge, that one, because I saw you tweeting about it, in the darkness, and just like the voice that guides you through that it's so good.
Like I think the best thing I can say about that game is like that game is terrifying. It is a terrifying video game to play, but it's terrifying in the right ways and not like the jump scary ways. Like there's no jump scares in that game whatsoever, but it's like it's just something that it makes you just feel. You just feel just terrified and awful and just going through this, and like you just get these emotions out of you, like emotions for yourself as well as this character, just like you just don't know how to feel, and just like you're just confused and just frightened of what you're seeing and what you're not seeing, and like you can swear you see something but it might not actually be there, and like you're in a completely black room and like you can somewhat see stuff in the darkness, and it's like, is that really something, and will it attack me? I better just go around it anyway just because I just don't want to deal with it, and I'm frightened, and it's something, dude.
That like the sequence where you're going through the castle and like you have to stay in the light is so good. Especially like the fight at the end of that is so good. Because like I talked about it a little bit with you last week. I was just worried going through those first 2 opening sections that the game would kind of feel repetitive, but they just like when they take away your sword,
that's
and it's
when
just
it was,
like,
dude.
it was like this huge section of zero combat, and it's so good. Fuck, dude. Yeah, it's very good. I'm so glad that it hit you, because like I feel like that game is so good, it's hard for it not to hit you. Yeah, and man, I like the performance in that game is just something breathtaking. It's just really, really great.
Yeah, even that is like I said, like in the first 2 sections, like I don't think the story was like really clicking with me, or I just really didn't understand it at first, what you were going through. But like, it's like, and I think it really was like the combat was like a big distraction in those first 2 areas. And like when you take this sort of way, and then you have to focus on what you're doing and how to get through it, and like actually pay attention what's happening, know what your goal is, and you understanding that goal, and that's such a big point at the end too. So,
and like the other voice that comes in after you open the door, is a big part of that too, and like where it kind of like fleshes out what that voice represents. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I'm very excited for the podcast that we're going to do about Hellblade. A lot of stuff I'm excited to talk about in regards to that game. And the other thing I wanted to say is they talked about it on Frame Trap. Ben Moore put it very well. Like, Senua is like, she has all these things about her, and like she's clearly a victim of like this really terrible trauma. But also she has things that she likes. She other kinds of relationships with her that are not just like totally determined by this aspect of her. And she's also like really strong. Like she's really, really strong. She's like a very powerful character that earns everything she fights for. And she's just like so much more than just a representation of mental illness. Like that's not what it's about. It's about her just being like this many-layered individual with like this rich history and the good and the bad, and I think they just do that very, very, very well. So glad you dug it, man. What else have you been playing?
Like the other big thing is Persona 5. I finally platinumed that game.
Congratulations.
Like I platinum Night in the Woods, I platinum Hellblade, and it's just like, oh fuck it, let's just do this finally. And I hadn't touched it since my race with Kaylee to get that platinum. And like I said, like pretty much as soon as like I knew that she won, because I was like right after I did a podcast with Cameron. It was a whole thing, and like I just turned the game off right after that and just went to bed, and like I lost like I don't know like 5 hours. So so like it was like nothing but fusion for like. I go not really a whole day, because I thought I was like, oh, this will take me like 30 minutes to fuse and stuff like that. No, it took me like about like maybe like 5-6 hours to do some fusions, and I eventually just had it popped, and I'm like, cool, I'm happy. Let's beat this game again. Oh, this game's still great.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna probably like jump back into where I was New Game Plus just to play that a little bit more of that game again before the end of the year. Just see it again, feel it again. I'm excited for that. Is that it? Is that what you've been playing?
Yeah, that's just the main stuff. Puzzle Fighter is still disappointing, but I'm still playing that, and I'm just trying to figure out. Oh, I know what I wanted to do something. I got distracted for a second. I did want to say, from last week, I do apologize about like how I came across about like Doki Doki Literature Club. Like, I don't know. I think I was just in a bad mood that last few days, like work hasn't been really on point, and so like I think I was putting a little bit too much of myself towards that game, just to like pretty much just hate on something just because they hate on it. And that's kind of how I felt about it after re-listening and like seeing how I feel about it. I still don't think I'm ready to actually like give it an honest shot yet, but like I do think I will play it before the end of the year, just to like be part of that conversation.
Okay.
So it just like had something.
Well, yeah, you're about to find out why I want you to play it.
Okay.
When it's time for Alex's turn, which is about right now.
I was gonna say that one for last, but I can start with that. I played Doki Doki Literature Club all the way through to the end, to credits.
Whole thing.
Tony was there with me, holding me virtually the whole time.
I wouldn't let my boy be in that space by himself.
It's weird, man. So I think I'm like all over the map with it now that I've kind of had some time to sit with it. I really like that game. Like, I like it way more than I thought I would. But I'm also like conflicted about parts of it. And also, like, that game kind of fucked me up. Like, genuinely, like, there are images in that game that have, like, I keep replaying in my head that make me, like, uneasy. And it really, like, I see so much why Scott and Tony want you to play it in option. I'll say that much. I don't know where I'm at. Like, I don't want to just be another voice saying, like, hey, you should play this thing. But yeah, it just, since you're gonna play it, I don't want to spoil anything, but like, it's clever. It's also like, Tony and I talked briefly about it, like in text message after the stream was over. Like, the ending really does seal the deal for that game in a really specific way that, like, I don't even know necessarily. I don't consciously understand how it necessarily does it, but it definitely helps. There's like a poignancy to the finale of that. But yeah, it fucks you right up. It goes for something, and I just want to hope that it isn't doing it for the wrong reasons, right? It isn't doing it for like the shock and awe. But I worry. I think there's a part of me that worries it is because of how deeply it unsettled me. And I think that's generally all I want to say with it. I have a lot of like thoughts. Like, I wrote a page of notes of things like that I want to talk about if I wrote about this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm assuming that's basically where your critiquing is ending for it.
Yeah, for now. Like, we'll be able to talk about it in a more kind of free manner.
Right, and
At a
so
later
I
date,
don't like
so.
this game. I agree with most of what you said,
Okay.
but I still don't like this game.
Okay. Do you not like it
The
because
part that I don't agree with you with is that this game is not clever.
Okay.
At this point, it's tired. It's been done times enough for me to be done for this to stop being a shock value. It didn't take me any time to figure out what I had to do when that time came. I already knew it before. I already knew I had to do it before I did it, and I had already tried messing with it before they prompted you to.
That's not what I'm talking about. The clever aspect of it. I meant more in like the writing. And
we'll get to that too.
But like, you know, I see where you're coming from with like the kind of like cool out like
the other part is that the second aspect of it is also tired out. It does something fairly specific for it's I don't think it's targeted specifically at dating games.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's targeted specifically at those tropes.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's nothing new.
No,
and that's exactly why I think Nobishin's already turned off by it.
Yeah, I don't think it's treading new water with it, like with its.
And I don't think it's treading the water that it is treading very cleverly either.
That's kind of what I was feeling about it.
Yeah, so it's the Nobishin. The reason why I need you to play this game is because after the fact, I need you to still not like it, so this doesn't end up in our top 10, or at least not very high.
I don't think it's gonna. Like,
it's not gonna be our game of the year or anything like that.
No, but like I'd be unhappy if this rises above 10. Nobishin, I need your help.
It's gonna backfire because Nobishin's gonna appreciate it.
I don't know. Like, I don't think it's gonna be in my top 10. It might be. I don't know. But my personal one. But like, yeah. I don't know. I still feel like it's because I beat it on Sunday. It's been almost a week. I still feel like I need more time to kind of.
Like I thought this game was a waste of my goddamn time.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
No one at all was surprised that Scott felt this way.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have told you that Scott was going to feel this way before he played the game, and Novashin said he had to play it, so he did.
Yeah. But I'm glad you played it though. Like,
yeah, because this might have been a number, anywhere from 3 to 5,
and
I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
So thanks.
Thanks. Shut this down. But like, I'll say, like, for a free video game, it's a value proposition. I think it is at least worth looking at.
Yeah, I think that it presents the topics and the mechanics that it wants to present in a way that is good for the wrapper of a visual novel that it's chosen to wrap itself around.
And like a free one with like a very low barrier to entry. Like, I think like value of this game is very important to like important to what it is and what it says. So I'm glad I played it. It just messed me up.
Yeah, it's a fucking thing, dude.
But I want to talk about it. There are a lot of games on my list I want to talk about, so move on. Let me know what you think, Nabashin. I'm curious.
Sure.
I finished Wolfenstein 2. And you have not yet, correct, Nabashin?
No, I got past. I'm literally at the part where the game fell off for you.
It's weird. It's like, I'm so frustrated because like I think like ultimately Wolfenstein just not my cup of tea. Like, that's fine and that's cool. Like, I'm not degrading. But I played it. I have opinions. I have thoughts on it. I'd like to share them. Right.
But you don't want to come off across as being someone who's just like hating this thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not hating it. Like, I gave it a genuine shot. It doesn't work for me, but like there is definitely a specific moment in this game where I was like, cool, this is gonna work for some people, probably more people, but it just did not work for me. Right? And you're like, can you tell me what mission you're on? What's happening?
I went back home.
Okay. Yes, that's right.
Then the jury scene, and then the scene right after that.
Okay, like the actual climactic scene.
Yeah, like as soon as you're able to get control again, that's what I stopped.
Okay.
Because I thought that was crazy, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I just like it. So what's more frustrating, right, is because I thought everything up to that point was great.
Yeah. I loved everything so far. Like I said, that game is really, really good so far.
And then like narrative wise, they just lost me. They just like, well, okay, because like and I tweeted about it, and I got a lot of good feedback, like people that gave me good perspectives that I wouldn't have thought of myself, which I appreciate. Thank you. I'll give a specific shout out when I can find the tweet, but yeah. So like it was just it lost me at that point. There's like a climax, right? Caitlin at CG and then like 7 R's is the Twitter handle. Thank you. She had a good kind of different perspective on it. So it lost me. But the thing I think that's more frustrating for me is like after that point, because like that game just goes on a long time after that as well. Which I guess like I didn't expect. Also, it was another thing like the first Wolfenstein, where it's like this game is so long. My total game time was 19 hours and 28 minutes for that game because I did every side mission like out of spite. But there are things after like the climax, like the turning point in the middle, that I really like. Like there are these characters that get introduced that I adore. Like there's this one character that's like got a super small bit part. But it was kind of like my relationship with that character was kind of like Greg's relationship with like the equivalent character in the first Wolfenstein. Like very small, kind of music related. It doesn't have a lot of dialogue, but it's just like has a really strong personality and comes out really well in the few scenes that he's in. So yeah, so it's weird. So because I really like that. I like the way it ends. Kind of, it's just like, and again, I'm just gonna spoil stuff once we get to the point like in Game of the Year, probably where we have that conversation. I'll save it until then, or if somebody wants to talk to me about it outside of that. But yeah, like there were just specific moments where I felt like it would have been a lot stronger if it had gone a different way. If there had been more consequences, and had become bigger than what it kind of started out being.
A weird question to ask, but
Sure.
do you feel inside you that you feel like you're wrong, or do you feel like there's something wrong with you because you feel this way?
I feel like it feels like I'm missing something.
Hmm.
Like it just like, and like people are like, I really like the campiness of it. It's just like, for me, it is like the two tones clashing, like two juxtaposed tones not working for me, but in a different way. Like I really like Blazkowicz in this game. I'll say, like, beginning to end, I really like his character in this game, and I think they do really great stuff with him and the way he interacts with other characters, especially that first half. I really like it, and I don't lose that enjoyment of that character going after that kind of turning point. I want to say
That's good because you didn't care for him.
yeah, I didn't like him really at all, but like I think they do cool stuff even after that point that I like, and he goes places and does things, and his relationships with characters change after that point, and it's like, oh, like I actually really like this. So like I walked away kind of, I got a lot of closure out of that. I think, which is the biggest reason why I'm like, I don't regret playing this game. It's just like the parts of it where I'm gonna like have kind of like a really serious political commentary, but then like just the wildest shit happens, and it's just like I can't do both of these things. I just can't. It's not in me to do this. And I think it's also like I follow a lot of the IGN editors on Twitter. All of them just keep endlessly saying that this game is exceptional, and I think it's okay. Like, just playing the game, it's fine. It's okay. Like, there are these side missions that open up after a point that I think are bad or not good. Because like there are these side missions where you can kind of go back to old areas and do objectives. And the objective is kind of like finding a person and killing them. I don't want to say too much here. It's like mechanical stuff, but there are these similar areas that you've been into, or the same areas that you've been to before, but there are no checkpoints for these side missions at all, and they're very long, and like it just feels, the difficulty feels weird for those points, and it feels very disjointed from the rest of the game, and you can't play. Like, ultimately, I had to just kind of sprint through all of those missions, because the longer you take, the more enemies just keep coming. It just never stops, and eventually it's just like they'll kill you, and then you have to do the whole thing over again. And if you're methodical and take your time through those levels, you're taking like 30 minutes to get halfway through it, or 15 to 20 minutes to get halfway through it, more realistically. And then you die, and you have to do it all over again. It's like zero progress made. And it's so frustrating. Like, the first one of those side missions I did, and I did all of them, again, mostly out of spite. And they got better as I went along, and I got better at them as they went along, because I kind of understood that philosophy of, like, there's going to be no checkpoints in this. Cool, I got to be extra careful.
You still played on normal, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
the whole game. You know, I'm just being a baby, so there's no checkpoints, whatever. People want to say that's fine. I disagree, but it's just like the whole game has this much more kind of breakneck pace, and it checkpoints you well, and then you jump over to this thing. It doesn't tell you that there's no checkpoints. It doesn't give you any preface to this. And then, like, the first time it happened to me, I lost, like, literally 25 minutes of progress. I was like, what the fuck? And then that happened to me 3 more times, again and again and again. And then you get to the person that you need to kill, and like they're a new kind of enemy that has a new weapon that only they carry, and it just is it's basically just a rocket launcher, and it can kill you in one hit. And it's just like they can shoot it rapid fire, unload it at you. So there were several times through these missions throughout the whole game where it would get to that last person after like upwards of 40 minutes. Some of the missions took me to get to them, and they just unload 3 bullets in me, and I'm dead immediately. I'm like, what just happened? And it just was terrible, and I hated it. Like I said, those missions get better as the game goes on, and I got better at them as the game went on. It just, I thought I'm like this is bad video games. I'm not having fun through a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, and it just like I think there's just so much hyperbole around that game, personally, but ultimately I tried. I really tried. Like I gave it the most honest shot I could, and I really like parts of it, and I'm happy with that. I don't regret playing it. I did everything in the game, and I don't regret doing that. I liked at least 50% of it, well, I'll say. And I think it is a well-made game, but I just for me, and it was something because the feel of it is not the same, but similar enough. For me, I think back to Doom of last year, and that's just such a better video game to me. That, because I see this goddamn Wolfenstein ads, and it's like Game Informer, the best first-person shooter campaign I've ever played. I'm like, Doom is so much better than this. And again, that's kind of this void of criticism, or the lack of the void of criticism, just coming in on me. I get that. But that's it. Wolfenstein 2 it's okay in my opinion. It's fine. I like it more than the first one. So I'll say that.
That means the third one's gonna be actually fun.
Yeah, maybe the third one's gonna get it. Same fucking thing again, where I'll be like, I didn't like it. I'm just gonna pass on this one, but someone else, Austin Walker, will say some shit. I'll be like, oh, I'll give it a shot, and then it's gonna be some fucking love-hate fest. You have to stop me, Nabishin. You need to be my moral compass then. Just be like, nah, just skip it, man. Just tell me it's okay. But yeah, again, I don't. Go ahead.
When the third one does come around, would you just want me just to tell you this how that game ultimately ends? Or
yes, I would want you to just sit down with me and just tell me the story of that game. Story time with Nabishin, because I care. I care now is the shitty part. I'm invested in the way that game ends. I'm invested in it, and I don't want to be. But they do enough right and well that I care now, and it's okay, I want to see where this goes, because they do say cool things, and they do the things they say about race in that game are really great and well done and interesting, and the things some of the commentary they have about the U.S. is poignant and important and relevant, but then it just gets lost in this weird shit that happens in that game. So anyway, Wolfenstein 2.
It seems honestly, when the third one does happen, you should just do the YouTube of Wolfenstein 3 the movie, and just watch that, and I think you would enjoy what you see of that.
I think so.
I think that would work for you.
Yeah. Because it's so I don't like being the negative Nancy.
Yeah.
About anything.
We passed this, Alex. Why are you going back to it?
So
okay.
So I want people listening know that that game did not work for me, and I do not like it, and I don't think it's excellent by any means. But that doesn't mean you can't enjoy it, etc., etc. The classic stuff. The things we say before Game of the Year, every time. It's this is just my opinion. It's fine. What the fuck do I know anyway? Other video games. I started playing Dishonored: Death of the Outsider. It's very good so far. There's weird stuff. There's one weird thing I'll say. Cause there's you play as a new character. One weird character. But so she has her own abilities, right? Just like Dowd did in the DLC for the first game.
Is she pre-established or?
Yeah, she is kind of the main companion character you have from Dishonored 2, right?
Oh, okay.
She was. It's cool because this is a continuation of the DLC for Dishonored 1. So like, she was a character in the DLC for that. She was Dowd, the character that you played in that first DLC. She was his companion. She betrayed him at the end of that. And like obviously those events roll into Dishonored 2's story. So they're kind of picking up where that leaves off, and you are kind of like looking for Dowd, and very early on you find him, and he's like, I want to kill the Outsider. And the Outsider is kind of like this all-seeing god that bestows the abilities onto all of the main characters of the Dishonored games. Like without him, Dishonored doesn't happen per se. So that's an interesting setup for a story, and it seems like it's probably kind of conclusion to the Dishonored stories, which is cool. And it takes place after Dishonored 2. I don't know if you play on the same platform, if it can incorporate any of your ending choices, because I'm playing on Xbox, where I played Dishonored 2 on PS4, so I'm not sure. I doubt it.
But there's always an outsider.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm really excited to see where this game goes.
That's what you're expecting.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting, and it definitely seems like it could subvert that.
Because with Dishonored 2, we know the story, the backstory, the outsider.
Yeah,
we know that he was not always the outsider. And
yeah, exactly.
And we should, I believe, it tells us there is an outsider before him.
Yes,
a version of it.
A version of it that was a different being or a different person. So like I'm really excited to see where this goes, because like the main plot lines of the Dishonored 1 and 2 like lean out of that. They're like, he's like an aspect of it. This is like going full into it. So I'm really interested to see it. I'll let you know how it is, Scott. The only thing is like, so, you know, all of the Dishonored main characters have some kind of warp ability. Like Blink is what it's called for Dowd and Korvik. So it is like the central ability to Dishonored. But Megan or Billy Burke, her ability is different. It's weird, and I don't know how I feel about it quite yet. I've only started a mission with it, so I haven't played around with it a lot. But it's, you know, as it is a shorter thing, there are no upgrade trees or skill trees for any of the abilities, so we'll see if like there are charms and bone charms and stuff, that accessories that you can kind of augment them with. But it works differently. You like throw out a marker, and then it's like left there, and you can kind of move around, and if you hit the button again, you warp to that marker. So it's cool. It's a cool idea. But it's like the executing on it is less comfortable, because I was kind of hoping they would bring back the stop blink from the first Dishonored DLC, but no such luck, unfortunately. But yeah, I've just kind of started that. I only played the first prologue mission, and I like it. It seems very cool. Dishonored ends up, if you forgot, from 2015, very good video game. Dishonored 2. So. The Destiny DLC came out. I don't know if you guys heard. Video game called Destiny. So I've been playing a lot on Xbox One, where I don't have the DLC, to get my first character up over there. But I did play through the story campaign of Curse of Osiris, the first expansion for Destiny 2 on my PS4 character. I don't know what it's raised the light or power cap to. I think it's 320. If I'm just guessing on that.
Was there a raise at all?
Yes. So the I don't know. So like, because I haven't gotten a lot of loot since I started it, because I haven't been playing as religiously. I mainly just played the story, so it could be higher. So the level cap for the game went from 20 to 25, so you can now level up 5 more times. Not that really makes a huge difference. You just get 5 more levels. And then there is a higher light cap. I don't know what it is right now. I could probably Google it and find out. But yeah, it sounds like such an easy solution to video games. But
Cam in the chat says 335.
335. Okay, thank you, Cam. Saved by the bell.
So it's a 25 light level increase. Okay.
Yeah.
So it is something. It is something to worth. It is
It's
kind
30.
of worth getting back into.
It's 30 because it was 305 was the cap before.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right.
So yeah, it's not bad. There's it added a new area. So I'll say first the campaign I thought was very good. It's a very different story because I couldn't tell you because I played through Destiny 1 the complete edition with Taken King. I couldn't tell you what was the first 2 expansions like House of Wolves and shit from Destiny 1 from the main story missions. Like they were all just kind of thrown together. This has like a story with a beginning, middle, and end. It's good. I think it's very good. I like the characters that they introduce in it. Sagira is like the ghost of Osiris, like his little floating robot buddy. So it's cool to see like another ghost. Osiris is a character in it. He's like he was the Zavala before Zavala is how your ghost describes him, which is cool. So he was the vanguard of the Titans, or one of the vanguards. He was the vanguard of Warlocks before, but he was like outcast from the city. He's the first Titan or first vanguard to be banished from the city. So he moved to Mercury. So you get to go to Mercury, which you've never been able to explore freely outside of. There is a mission in Destiny 2 for the Titan side quest to get the Titan's third subclass in Destiny 1, excuse me, where you get to go to Mercury. And it definitely plays off of some of that design. And there is something called the Forest of something. There's like this big Vex complex in the center of Mercury that you get to explore, and it seems very cool. You go through it throughout a lot of the story, and then it apparently like procedurally generates levels after you finish that, which is cool. But you get to walk around Mercury. It's not a huge area. It's not as big as like any of the areas. I would say it would be smaller than Titan, but it's this pretty small area. But you know there are adventures to do on Mercury, so there are new side quests. There's post-game side quests after you finish the story, which took me about 3 hours. And there is a very, very cool new public event on Mercury that is like, there's like tons of stuff going on. There's like secret platforms and dunking. There's a lot of dunking.
So much dunking.
Yeah, there's always a lighthouse and there's always a dunk, as I've found out. Yeah, there's like, you're like jumping through jets onto a boss and dunking on him. It's very good. I only did it once. I did the heroic one and it was like, fuck, this is cool. So, yeah, it's a cool new area. It's, you know, if I were to compare it to the expansions from Destiny 1, I would say it's definitely way more significant, or way more substantial. If I were to make a general thing, like, yeah, this is like a $15 expansion, you know. It's a new story campaign that I thought was pretty great, and it had a cool story. It's a little, you meander a little bit through the middle of it, which is kind of a bummer, but there is a good payoff, and it is cool to learn about Osiris because, like, Trials of Osiris was a thing in the first Destiny game, and now you kind of, like, understand why and why people follow this person and who this person is. So, yeah, I liked it. Just playing it a little bit. I'm curious to see what the raid layer that comes out on Tuesday is all about. And I haven't seen the strike. I believe there's a new strike in it as well.
Ooh. Can I? Did you touch on prismatic lens?
No, I haven't.
Do you want to talk about prismatic lens?
Yeah, there's a new exotic weapon called prismatic lens that is fucking broken.
It's so busted. You know what's even funnier, Alex?
What?
Zera's selling it
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as we finish this podcast, I'm gonna go buy it. Like, Infinite Forest. Also, Cameron knows the name of the thing I was looking for. But you know, like, I'm now up to like 308. I had not hit 305, the cap before. It sets like the raid, makes it a little bit higher light, so it's like 300 for the raid now, recommended. So because the light is going up universally, even for people that don't have the DLC, I believe. So, yeah, I don't know, it's cool. I think it's a cool expansion. I'm excited to be playing Destiny again.
Yeah, I don't know. The shitty part about the expansion for me is like I wasn't planning on getting this one, and I was just going to pick up the next one. But I now can't play Destiny because stuff like, even though I can get the light level and everything, stuff like Trials of Osiris and stuff is locked behind having the expansion.
Yeah.
So I can no longer play Trials of Osiris, which is like the only thing I would want to play.
Yeah, and I know Bungie put out a comment about that. Like the Prestige raid is locked now if you need trials to do that.
Yeah, that's fine, I guess.
But yeah, and it's trials, and I think that's it. But yeah, I know. I think Bungie said something about like they're trying to work around that. But
man, like they just keep messing up.
Yeah.
I feel bad too because like I know they don't.
Yeah, I know.
I know they're not trying to fuck up. Like there's no malicious intent on Bungie's end. Like they really care. It's just like bad timing, and it looks bad right now. But like I think back to what Destiny looked like in Destiny 1 looked like in its year 1, and like I know they can spring back. They just gotta step it up. But yeah, so
but like, I'm saying like the issue is just like it's just a consistent thing with this game, and like even that's the unintentional stuff or like not intentional or they just didn't communicate it. It's just like what are you doing? It's just like iron out your shit before you actually put it out.
Yeah,
it's sad.
Yeah, I'll say I've been enjoying it. I did also play the Fortnite Battle Royale. I had that on Xbox One. I played it.
I still have not played that, and I downloaded it, and it keeps updating like every 2 days. But like, man, I haven't not even inspired.
It's fine. I want to play real PUBG. Is what I decided. Like the Fortnite parts of that game are the parts that I like the least. Where you're like crafting stuff, and it's like I don't like how it looks. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being dumb, but I'm excited. I'm excited for PUBG on Xbox. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna hopefully do some streams with it at some point once I get it, which will probably not be next week, but next weekend. And we'll maybe I'm gonna hit up Alex Van Aken and see if he wants to be an Xbot with me.
Are we done with video games after that, Alex? As far as buying,
dude, Okami HD is still coming out, man.
Fuck, that's right.
On the hype.
Well, I mean, we're done with video game talk after this.
Yeah, we're done with talking about video games after I'm done this game. But no, I mean, for the year, I think I'm good. Like, there's no new video game, no Game of the Year contenders coming out anymore. There's the Breath of the Wild DLC, which again I'm saving. I'll probably say that for like the last week of December for me. This is like my nice little.
Is part 2 coming out soon?
It's out now.
Okay.
Did you not like they shadow dropped that during the Game Awards? They just were like,
totally was paying attention.
Yeah, you have to remember I didn't watch the Game Awards.
Well, I mean, we talked about it in the news section, but
yeah.
So Scott, they were like, they showed a trailer for the Ballad of Champions, and then at the end of the trailer, it's like available tonight. And that was last night, so it is available.
Okay, you see, the available tonight part was the part that I missed.
Yeah, I got you. It's good. It's out now. You can go download the update. It's like 2 gigs, I think. So.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I got it all downloaded last night. I'm just like, fuck, man. I've been playing Breath of the Wild again. It's the last game, I promise. But I've been playing it differently. So I started a new save file, new account on my Switch just to play it again. Just because I was like, I want to go through the tutorial area again. I wanted to capture some footage. I didn't end up doing that, so fucking great job, me. But I've been playing it differently. The reason I didn't capture footage is because I've been playing it differently. I've just been playing it in bed before, like in bed handheld mode, which I played a little bit of Breath of the Wild originally in handheld mode, like PAX East. We flew there and I played it a little bit there. I know the first time I ever took my Switch in handheld mode anywhere, I was like getting my oil changed. I wait for like 30 minutes and I played Breath of the Wild like that. But I didn't do it a lot. So this has been like a very different experience mode. And it's been very good. Like it's been a very different thing, but also awesome, and I just fucking love that game so much. And also it has just been kind of me falling back in love with the Switch. And yeah, that's a very good console. I like that console a lot. That's it for video games. Let's take some questions. We got some time. We're hitting right up near our kind of hard out time limit. Because we want to go watch the PSX stuff. We're gonna be live streaming that. So if you're listening to the podcast, you can go watch our reaction video on youtube.com/irrationalpassions. So we got some questions. Remember, you can be a part of the show. Tweet your questions at IrrationalPod. Use the hashtag IPQ, and then we will read them on the show. One question we got that I really liked was from Mike at Mike Hits the Wall. Said, yeah, question, how do shadows die, let alone twice? Thanks. I feel like this is a question for you, Tony. How do shadows die twice?
So first, you have to determine what a shadow is. And as we discussed earlier, shadow is a hedgehog.
Here we go.
So when you stab shadow, right, with your OC's dick, if you miss,
Jesus Christ,
you might puncture the bladder.
Oh my God!
And if you do that, you could cause some interior infection.
This is a little graphic for my
case. And that's how you kill shadow, right? But that wasn't the question. The question was how shadows die twice.
There are clones of shadow.
To be honest with you, I'm gonna leave that up to your own imagination.
Yeah, think about doing that again. There are clones of Shadow. If you've watched, looked at that Sonic Forces, you should play Sonic Forces. An option.
I'm honestly thinking about it.
George Cruz is gonna review that, and the soundtrack for that game, man.
Oh my God, dude!
It's so great.
Is it great like The Room great?
Yes, it is great like The Room. It is exactly that kind of great. We're gonna I know it's not gonna win, but like during our best soundtrack for Game of the Year, we're just gonna listen to some songs on that soundtrack, just because we need to do. There needs to be like a cathartic release. Fuck. Sonic Forces.
Only if someone plays it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Nomishin's gonna play it. Well, if anything, we can call George Cruz, and we'll have him guess. He'll be the Alex Navarro. Calling in. Anyway, we got another tweet. Harold Price at USF HBomb said he lost interest in the Game Awards when Dr. Disrespect won Trending Gamer. Apparently, he's been banned from PUBG. I don't know what that means to be banned from PUBG.
I'm not up to date on the Doctor.
On the Doctor. You're a fan of the Doctor, though.
Yeah, definitely a fan. He's a great fucking streamer. His stream is one of the highest production quality streams on Twitch TV.
What do you mean by high production?
So so the majority of any stream, right, is you play a game and you're sitting there, you're on camera and you commentate over it. He does that in a very similar way to many Twitch streamers. However, he will have when he's playing PUBG, right? Some examples. He has different overlays set up for his camera. So if he gets in a motorcycle, it's now showing him his camera on a motorcycle. Or if he gets in a car, it shows him driving a lowrider, something like that. Instead of overlaid in front of his camera, and he does that the way his character kind of plays into all that stuff, and then he has all of these green screen setups that he will go to between matches and do random others ridiculous stuff. There's this whole subscriber lounge thing for the Dr. Disrespect subscribers that he has built on a green screen that he'll go into and talk to you from. And it's weird. It's something else to watch one of his streams if you haven't seen one before, just because of the weird shit that ends up that is very normal to happen in that stream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's just something that you don't see other Twitch streamers do. Most of the time, a Twitch streamer, they get on, they play video games with or without a camera, they commentate over it for 6 to 8 hours, then they're done. Yeah. He kind of brings a little bit extra to the table, and I think that's really cool.
That's cool. I mean, apparently he's got a very passionate fan base. Like, obviously, his fan base is what won him that award. I think, like, the big thing to take away is, like, you know, it's hard to, like, the Trending Gamer Award is just exclusively voted on by people, right?
Yep.
And, like, you can vote twice a day, every day. Like, you know, it's just kind of like a numbers game at that point. Like, I voted for Andrea Renee on multiple occasions that I could remember to do it. But it's not like I forgot and it's my fault. Damn it, if only I had remembered. It's just, you know, like, I feel like you can't put too much weight into that kind of stuff because, like, some people just have really passionate followings and, like, that's kind of what that award is for, I guess. It is less... It is kind of a popularity award.
I think it's literally a popularity award.
Yeah. And, like, I don't know. I don't know Dr. Disrespect, but, like, I don't think any of the other winners of the awards per se have been poor choices. I have my opinions about Total Biscuit, but obviously, like, Greg had a great speech and everything. It was weird, like, because of that speech moment that, you know, the Trending Gamer wasn't in the show proper, but maybe it's because they knew who won. I don't know. Apparently, it was very close. That's what Jeff Keighley had said to Andrea Renee, who I wanted to win, or Steven from Able Gamers, also a great choice. But, you know, I don't put too much stock in a thing that can be voted on multiple times a day by everyone. It's just like it has little weight. Even if it that doesn't mean it doesn't mean anything to those people and to the people that wanted it and tried to win it, and to Andrea and the people that were nominated. I think, like, a lot of them, Andrea and Steven, I will say, like, to their credit, like, are people that matter a lot, and are Trending Gamers in my heart. But, like, I think ultimately who wins is not necessarily. It is just a numbers game. Like, it doesn't matter as much.
It's like I've always said, or I tried to say. Ultimately, this stuff.
It's tricky, right?
Yeah, I was going to say it doesn't matter, but clearly
but it kind of does. You
yeah,
know?
Yeah. But like, I always say like with Rurouni Kenshin, bad example, but still,
I'm into it.
There's a scene in that manga or anime, if you will, that like a sword is used to kill people. That's just the truth. That's just like the flat out truth. Is no pretty lies are going to like cover that up.
Mm-hmm.
But like he wants to believe that it's a sword that protects people, and so he's living that lie to make that lie the truth. And I just feel like we don't have the best examples for a lot of things, where it's like entertainment or even politically. But like, you need to live your life to be what those people aren't, and like try to be the good, try to be the beacon of something that is good, so that people can follow that example rather than the dirtbags in your life. I don't know. I said that poorly, but that's how.
No, that's really that's honestly very poignant. I get you. I think that's what, you know, we try and do with this show, and it's also like, I think you can't wholeheartedly put all of your stake in one show's or one avenue's like result, right? Just like, you know, we're gonna say with our Game of the Year awards, where, you know, we have our silly thing where we're gonna vote on our most valuable guest, right? That doesn't like mean any guest isn't less valuable.
Exactly.
They're all
except fucking Trevor Starkey.
Except fucking Trevor Starkey.
Not even nominated this year. Fuck Trevor.
Motherfucker. Like, it's just, you can't put all your stock, you can't put all your eggs in one basket when it comes to kind of like really arbitrary awards. They matter, but they don't have to be the only things that matter.
It's right. They don't matter for the reason that it quote unquote says it matters.
Yeah.
The only thing that it does is it gives the games that are placed a little extra recognition.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah, the games and the people in this case. So, yeah. Jake Nichols at JR Nichols 3 is going to be on Switch. Will Alex finally fucking play it? It's a good question. Is this the timed option?
Oh, what's that? I'm sorry, I missed out.
Now that Bayonetta 1 to 3 is going to be on Switch, will Alex finally fucking play it?
I think the bigger question is George Cruz. At least you played a bit of Bayonetta 1.
Yeah, and I like it.
Yeah, it's George Cruz, man.
George Cruz has no excuse.
The biggest disappointment of the shit.
You know what you did. It's funny.
Man, I'm talking shit about a lot of people tonight. I am.
No, it's great. It's
No,
lit,
I
man.
was about to say I was sorry, but nah.
No, you're not. No, George knows what he did. The best part is like this is the reason for him to buy a Switch. One. The second best part is George has like been listening to the full podcasts, and he's been telling me about them. Like, yeah, I'm actually like really enjoying your like listening to IP all the way through. I give you shit about it being a 3-hour podcast all the time, but you guys actually do have really good conversations. I'm like, hey, fuck you. So he's gonna hear this, and he knows what he did. I don't know, Mr. fucking Nier Automata is the best game ever. Guy can't even play Platinum's arguably best games. Fucker. I don't want to hear this shit from him. Jarrett Green, how many games announced launch in 2018? How many of them had 2018 dates? I don't know. I think Soul Calibur comes out for sure. That's one. Death Stranding, definitely a 2018 game. No, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, right, dude.
Yeah, I would say like two or three. Soul Calibur being one of them. I assume we're talking about the Game Awards. And Cameron quote tweeted us the question, and it was a good question that I saw a lot of people participating in on Twitter. I did myself. From Anil Dash at Anil Dash on Twitter. Who is the person, not counting family, that opened doors for you in your career when they didn't have to? Anytime is a good time to show gratitude. It's a good question. He's all right.
Fuck that guy.
Logan Wilkinson said that option. You got to pick someone else. I'm just kidding. You don't have to.
Interactive distractions and just all the guys there. Definitely.
Jeff, Chris, Travis.
Yeah.
Jason.
Who's now at Giant Bomb. So yes.
Jason from Giant Bomb, yes. Glenn pouring out somewhere out there. Glenn's always within this in my heart.
He just gave me shit recently about like not watching all the John Wick movies, which I recently did, and they're great.
Of course he did. What about you, Tony?
Jason's Giant Bomb. Easy.
There you go. Jason is a great answer. Scott? I don't know if you've ever had like somebody reach out. Toby Fox.
Would that be a valid answer for the question?
I don't know.
Run the question by you one more time.
Who is the person, not counting family, that opened doors for you in your career when they didn't have to?
Career? Is this a career?
Is this a career?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's NA for me.
NA.
Not applicable.
Not applicable.
Applicable.
N/A. Not applicable. That Greg Miller fellow for me. He's all right. He's a very nice man, as Seth Macy on Twitter said. He's been very supportive for me. He's always believed in me, and all
right, so Alex, I have a bit of news.
Yeah,
it's time to throw the show.
It is. We have to end the show. Luckily, like it worked out.
Yeah,
we gotta cover the bets, dude.
We do have to end the bets. So let's. I'm gonna skip.
Let's just jump straight into that.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
That's for it.
Skip the housekeeping. Follow us on Twitter and shit. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, fair. But can we just do that every week now?
Yeah, right. Tony was great and calculated all of the Game Awards bets.
You're welcome. Don't say I never did nothing for you.
Thank you, Tony. And of course, Team fucking BBC won by 1 point.
So.
Fucking so dumb. God damn it. It's Team Flawed had 22 correct predictions to the Game Awards and Team BBC had 23. Gotta say, we did pretty good this year.
You want to run through them real quick?
For like each category.
Just real quick, yeah.
Real quick.
All right, best student game. We all were fucking wrong.
Yeah, we're all wrong. Best
independent. Alex and
Cuphead.
Option were right with Cuphead. Most anticipated game. Scott and Tony were right with The Last of Us Part 2. Best multiplayer. Nobishin and me with PUBG. Best sports/racing. Scott and Nobishin with Forza 7. Best strategy game. Just Nobishin with Mario and Rabbids. Best family game. Nobishin was right again with Odyssey. Best fighting game, Nobishin, myself, and Scott with Injustice 2. Alex, you're a piece of shit.
I just
best
switched it up,
role-playing
okay?
game, we were all right, Persona 5. Best
yeah.
action adventure, everyone was right except for Nobishin with Zelda. Best action game, it's just Alex on Wolfenstein 2. Best AR VR game, everyone but me picked Resident Evil 7. And that was right. Best handheld game, everyone except for Scott picked Metroid, and that was correct. Best mobile game, Scott was the only one right with Monument Valley. Best ongoing game, Nobishin was the only one right with Overwatch. Games for Impact, Alex won with Hellblade, no one else. Best performance, everyone but me was right, picking Melina Juergens. Best audio design, just Nobishin with Hellblade. Best score/music, we were all wrong. Nier is the best. Best art design, everyone was right with Cuphead. Best narrative, we were all wrong. I don't remember what one.
It was What Remains of Edith Finch, which was a super surprise.
And best game direction, me, Alex, and Scott were correct with Zelda. And game of the year, we were all correct with Zelda. Team Flock got 22 points. Team BBC got 23.
So that brings our totals up to, if we're just adding these points onto our score totals, brings Team Flawed up to 59 total points. Woo! And Team BBC up to 65?
Blueberry cannolis. Let's go.
Blueberry cannolis.
Oh, fuck Mock.
Meaning we lost by 6 points, Scott.
Nice.
In the grand scheme of things, that's not that bad. And that is the end of bets. That is the end of season 1 of bets.
Do you have to change your name?
Well, I think I think the
Loser
best,
walks.
the best thing now is to switch up the teams. We gotta make new teams.
Oh, we'll do that next time.
Yeah, we can do that next week. But team BBC's won this round. We put up a good fight, Scott. Thank you for getting into it. I appreciate you.
Final word, Tony.
Anything, dude.
That's his final word, guys. All right,
So I just want to tell Scott something that I found out happened during the show.
Yeah?
Makari quit BDO, dude.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, he uninstalled the game. Is never gonna play again. It's so
Okay.
fun. Is the number one BDO streamer, like leader of the best guild in the game.
Damn.
Yeah,
tear
right?
me apart, BDO.
Tear me apart, BBC. What? Thank you all for listening. We appreciate you very much. Thank you, Danny Wiesner, opening music of Two Player Co-op, closing music of The World of Save. Thank you, Scott, Tony, Nobishin for joining me as my co-hosts. Amazing. I love you guys. Winky face. As always.
Titles, real quick.
I'm your host, Alex O'Neill. Play your game, stay irrational. We will talk to you all next week. Bye!
Title.
Are there even any? Okay, found it.
Good. No.
It's the final count. All right, that's pretty bad.
You get it?
Team Weed.
Nice.
Joseph Fares is irrationally passionate. Shadows died twice. OC. Bayonetta 3.
Trademark.
That trailer shook Tony. Rosalima and Great Like the Room Great.
Dude, Shadows Die Twice, IOC, TM.
I'm good with that.
Sure.
Okay.
This is the Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 357.
Shadows Die Twice. Original character.
Trademark.
You can stop recording now. Thank everyone for watching. We love you
Yo,
all.
can we end the show like that every week?
Just like blazing it.
It was like